All right, there we go. So, so last time, you guys were capitalizing on following up on an attack made upon you as you guys were camping in the middle of the night, betrayed by a boat salesman from the town of Vidor, that who turned
Well,
you over to a trio of hags.
yeah, what was his name?
I'd have to look. Why, you gonna go back for revenge?
Oh, heck yeah.
His name is TBD.
His name
To
is
be
TBD.
It's
To
to
be
be dead.
dead.
Yes.
I'd have to look. I don't have it handy here, but it's somewhere in the book. I'll find it. I'll get it to you. But yeah, so he basically sold you guys a boat. Then said, "Look, I can get you to Seaquen, but Seaquen but we have to do it cautiously because Seaquen is taking in a ton of refugees right now, and they're getting ready to essentially bar their doors and stop from taking more people." So he goes, I can get you in a back way by going through the swamp as opposed to going to the river and coming up river, and it'll get you into the city easier and with a lot less fuss, especially if between now and then they close the city. You guys were like,
Or between now and then, you get eaten by hags. That
well,
makes it easier.
which was weird because when he was selling you the boat and selling you this idea, that really didn't come up.
Yeah,
The whole
he
hag
left
part.
that part out,
Yeah, he did leave that part out.
which I was a little perturbed about.
Yeah, well, so then he
Just
took
a
you
bit.
on an overnight. He brought you to an island in the middle of the swamp, a dry island. Got you guys set up in camp, and everything seemed fine for you guys to move on towards Sequin the next day, except for late at night. Somebody, I think it was you actually, Arendar, was on. It may have been Wraith.
No,
Was on.
Wraith.
It was Wraith.
Yeah, I was on watch when he decided to skip over to the next island, get a P-row, and take off.
I can never tell you between you two guys.
Yeah, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
But yeah, so Wraith basically heard this guy slip into the water and swim off, and spied him sort of taking off back down the swamp in like a small little coracle that he had unbeknown either was on the island itself hidden, or that he had brought with him somehow that you guys hadn't seen. But he took off, and you're like, well, that's not right. At which point, you guys were almost immediately thrown into a cloud of poisonous fumes that made you sick and debilitated, and then you were attacked from multiple sides by these three hags and their minions, including several alligators. Managed to turn the tables on the hags until one escaped, and you decided that you were going to follow up and make that hag pay for their transgression. So you followed the path down to.
You found keys, so.
Yeah, you found keys too. So you followed the path down to a small inlet area, which gave every indication of being the hag's home, including the presence of a pretty significantly sized yurt, on the property. You guys ran into some skeletons that were there for protection. You managed to dispatch them. You also ran into some sort of slime creature that was using a person's body, or somehow had morphed into a person's body that was trying to lure you closer, sort of like a Venus flytrap thing. That was pretty gross. And then you got to the hag. And you got into battle with the hag and began fighting her, and that fight still continues. As you guys are,
yeah, she's the only one left.
She is the only one left, and is fighting desperately to try and save herself. That said, there's a lot of you and only one of her. And one of the last things that Vondrum did was put her into some lightning sand, which she can probably jump out of, but could create terrain issues. Polearm, you have positioned yourself near a slash in the canvas of the yurt, and I believe you peeked in last time just to take a look and see what was in there. Do you recall any of that?
Yeah. Yep, that's what I did. I was just trying to make sure there's no surprises in there.
Okay, yeah, you didn't see anything, some yurty belongings and things that look like they might easily belong to hags, but yeah, no additional surprises. And that's basically where we start out right now. So questions or anything before we jump right in? I'm going to take Vondrum, since Jennifer's not here. I'm going to take Vondrum out of the map. Oops, no, that's not what I want to do.
Bondrum doze off.
Vondra's like, I'm gonna go check out some other things. So she takes off, he takes off, and we're ready to start. Any questions? You said you had so Mike, you mentioned that you had a couple of spells active.
Yeah, no, so my character sheet, I had bless and prayer active, so I just want to make sure that was accurate.
As far as I know, it is. I don't see anything that denies it. Usually I put them on the map, but it's easily. Do you guys have it too? So, all right, yeah, it's plausible. So,
It would have been Gordon that did it. So,
yep. All right, cool. So, yeah, so bless and what did you say?
Bless and prayer.
Prayer. Okay. All right, cool. So make sure to use those, and then we'll jump right in. Any other questions? I really didn't give you guys a chance to answer questions. I said any questions, and then I asked a question. So, kind of dominated the Q&A there for a second. All good?
Hey, how'd your interview go? Speaking of Q&A.
I got notice today that I am out of contention for the position. So I did not get that job. But so I'm going to follow up and see if they've got any feedback for me and see where I went wrong. But it's possible, possible, remote, but possible that I'm not as charming as I think I am. So we'll have to see how that
As long
works.
as you're the DM, you can do all kinds of charming.
I say that can't be it.
It seems unbelievable, but I mean, it could be that somewhere somebody doesn't find me as entertainingly lovable as I assume that they do.
Thinking the management there was just afraid you'd get hired and take their jobs.
Take over. That's how I usually do. I come in at a low level and then I take over. No, they said they had mentioned. So I don't know. I had a couple interviews. They seemed like they went well. I was supposed to have another interview this week with another guy who had been on vacation for the last couple of weeks actually. But then today, so that's what I assumed I was running into this week. And then today they sent me an email that said, we're going to go with we're going to go in another direction.
Maybe they checked out your game videos.
That must be it. They're like, oh my God, we can't have this. We can't have a
nerds
on our payroll. That's crazy. But yeah, no, I didn't get it. So I'm back to the grindstone. So we'll see. There's a lot of jobs out there. One of them will be for me.
There's got to be someone blind and ignorant enough to hire you.
That's what I'm on. Fingers crossed. So if he's out there or she's out there, I'll find them. All right, so let's in abeyance of other questions, let's go ahead and get started. Arendar leads off. Now Arendar is way over there, and I think he's stunned. Yeah, I think stunned.
Stunned and asleep.
And asleep. Yeah, he's sleeping next to the body of that slime creature.
No, I just finished last round cleaning my sword off.
Okay.
So yeah, flip around, turn around, see the hag over there. I'm charging to right here and taking a swing.
Okay. Go for it, dude.
So this is going to be at let me see, it's +2 for the charge, +2 for bless and prayer. So this is
right.
+4.
+4?
Whatever it comes up with.
Oh, it'll be 4 on whatever you get, whatever you roll here. You're not gonna slip it into the macro.
Yeah, I don't do.
All right. Ooh, 18 is a miss.
Okay.
So miss with the falcata. Getting really good at missing these guys lately.
I rolled a 4, so
there you go. Okay. But speaking of guys who miss things, oh no.
And we can't hear you.
Sorry. Can you
no,
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I don't see any bad guys. Wait. Who's
Right
that?
here.
One. That's not me.
The one right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Get the hag, not Arendar.
I see her now. Very, very well. Is she that mean hag who has tried to kill us and has also hurt my feelings more than once?
That's the one.
She hurt my feelings too, so.
Oh, okay. then-
Yeah, so she's the one. Yeah, you recognize her voice. She's the one that tried to command you to run into the
Oh, right. Okay. well,
into the fog, the poisonous fog.
Because she did that, I am going to I hate to hit a lady, but
She doesn't
so
qualify.
okay. I will kick her.
All right, give her the
Yeah.
boot.
Here we go. Yes, a boot. Here we go. Kaboom.
Ooh, 23 is a hit.
Yes, sir. All right. And let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm off to the.
6 points of damage.
Okay, good. Great.
Let's
And
see here.
can I try that again, please?
Do you get two? Yeah,
Yeah, if you're
you
doing
do
flurry
get
of blows.
you get 2 attacks. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Here it comes. And did I?
Nope. That is a potential fumble, a natural 1. So go ahead and roll that again. Let's see if that is a confirmed fumble. I'll go ahead and get the chart. Because with a 9, a natural 2, we are indeed going to need the chart. A
boy.
Great.
confirmed fumble. Start out. So I gotta say, Eric, you're starting out tonight the same way you started out last night. Last night he rolled 2 1s in a row. His first and second roll of the evening were 2 natural 1s. He did not have a good time. Ooh, this one could hurt you. Sprain, it's called. You take 1d4 points of dex damage.
Oh, damn it.
Ouch, that sucks for a monk.
Yeah, that sucks double for a monk. So let's go ahead and roll that beastie. 2 points of dex damage.
All right. All right. How do I? Okay. So I add that as a modifier on my sheet here. I go -2.
-2 to dex, which,
Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, done.
which will take 1 away from probably your attacks, 1 away from your AC,
Hmm
1 away from reflex save.
I entered -2 on dex on my sheet here, and it looks like the software very smartly did all the
That's what it's
updates.
supposed to do. So
All the updates. Good. All right, cool. All right. Well, that is fumble ends your turn. So Wraith, you are up. I think you're stunned too, right?
Yeah, stunning. Yeah, you got
that's
the last part.
Steady,
Yeah.
not stun.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do rapid shot. 2 shots from here.
Okay.
I'm within 30 feet.
10 is
Those will both be B plus. Is it
At least
3?
2.
It's 1 for
bless
prayer and 1 for
prayer.
press. So yeah. So the first one obviously missed.
Mhm.
I think the second one probably missed as well, but it's an 18, not a 16.
18 is also a miss. So
Okay.
2 arrows misses.
This chick is like Neo.
She is. She's dodging. She's doing bullet time. All right. You want to move or anything? Or are you going to stay on the dock there?
No, I can't move. I did a
You got a 5-foot step is all you can do.
okay.
Oh, that's
well,
true.
I'll take a 5-foot step. Is this actually solid ground, or if I take a 5-foot step, am I stepping off the dock?
You're stepping off the dock. Well, it depends on which direction you go. If you go north or northwest, it's all solid.
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step south.
Okay. You're still on the pier, but everything
Yeah,
around
but
you is
get a
one
better
eye.
angle. Get a better
Gotcha.
angle.
Gotcha. Okay. What, Eric, what was that you were saying?
Oh, just that I don't want to make any moves. I'm going to stay right there in her face.
I got you. Okay. All right. Now it goes to Titus. Andrew, what is Titus going to do? What can Titus do in the face of such horrifying offense?
I want her to feel as dazed as I am. So maybe
something coming.
Maybe oh no, it doesn't have to be as dexterous. Let's see. Why is daze not showing up in my spell list?
I don't know. Maybe you cast it already.
No, that shouldn't be it. Is it something after roll? Maybe I'll roll for it. Daze, it's a DC 15.
Is it a power maybe instead of a spell?
Good grief. Gee, if I had Hero Lab, I could
Yeah,
answer
daze
that.
is either a 0 or a.
No, it's a cantrip. Yeah, it's a cantrip. All right.
0 or
Clouds the mind of a humanoid creature with 4 or fewer hit dice so that it takes no action. Humanoids of 5 or more hit dice are not affected. So I can tell you before you do that, that she has more than 4 hit dice.
Oh,
So the days won't work. So hands still on the pawn. If you want to try something else.
I think I would. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Let's see. What would I do? So it looks like she's got a pretty fair amount of hit points left, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I can tell you she's not in Verm range.
Damn it.
By the way, Tom Rowe got another Verm last night, so extending his lead.
I'll try to tell her it's nap time, I think.
Sleep is also a 4 hit dice or less spell.
Yep.
Jeez. See, I gotta level up, man.
Got to level up.
Well, I have. I just haven't added it.
Ooh.
Fine. I'm just going to do some bland old heavenly fire at her.
Ooh, all right. What kind of spell now?
It's a ranged touch.
And where's the description? Sorry, I'm trying to go through only sheet.
Heavenly fire.
Well, let's fire it.
Starting at first level, you can unleash a ray of heavenly fire as a standard action, targeting a foe as a ranged touch attack. Against evil, it's 1d4 hit points for every 2 sorcerer levels. All right, your ranged touch. Does he get pluses on that for the bless and
Yeah.
prayer?
Yes.
He does. Okay, so her
didn't-
touch AC is 10. So that
I
would
didn't
give
add
you,
those in, so that it's 11.
it's an 11. That is a hit.
So does that also add the damage?
It does not, but I think you get another D4, don't you? It says you get a D4, 1d4 plus 1 for every 2 sorcerer levels. What level are you?
It's the +1, so it's D,
Oh,
like 3 or 4 or whatever it is, whatever.
it's
level.
not an additional dice.
Correct.
Got it. All right, so
Prayer actually does give you +1 damage too.
does it? All right, so plus 1 of that, so 6 points. All right, let's do it. 6 points as the fire. She doesn't have any. She have any spell resistance? Why not? I think that stinks. Ooh, she does have elemental resistance though.
This is divine though, so it doesn't matter.
It's divine.
Yeah,
I thought.
it's heavenly fire.
Oh well. Poop. All right. All right. Good job, Titus. You want to move or anything like that?
No, I feel pretty safe between Ono and Arendor.
Okay. Poe. So you're standing by the yurt, but you've got a pretty good shot at her if you want to take it. Don't take it.
Yeah, I'm worried she's going to try to run away again, so I'm going to try to do a hold person on her. So
Ooh, hold
DC
person.
17.
DC 17. That's a will save, right?
Yep.
Okay. She has a +7 will. So let's see. It's 50-50 actually. So here we go. Ready? Natural 20. She is not held.
So she gives you the finger.
That's my turn.
That's it? You gonna move or anything or just stay there?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to move around to try to keep her from running away.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I can't really get off that map, but so back around to there.
All right. All right. She's going to take so the first thing she's going to do is she's going to take a 5-foot step over to here. Out of the thing. Oh, she's in difficult terrain, so she can't take a 5-foot step. That's going to be well, then she's going to take another square for her movement. And then you see her change into something else. And now she looks like she's either Arendar or Wraith.
Hey, Les, I have reach, so that might be an attack of opportunity for me if she moved out of a threatened square.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna shoot a shot at her then.
Go ahead and take that. Yeah, it would have been this square right here because she didn't get the 5-foot step. Nope, that's a miss. And then so she moves out and is like, she looks over at you, Wraith, and says, "Stop shooting at me! Stop shooting at me! She's over there. She's disguised." And she points at Arendar. She's disguised as us. Then we go into round 4. Is that Tamar making that noise? I think it is. All right, Arendar, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna call out in twin speak. Which one is you?
The one on the dock. Really? She moved 10 feet, told the dumbest lie ever, and you're confused? Go kill it.
It's magic. Magic is weird. Okay, she's gonna get an attack of opportunity because I'm coming over to right there.
Okay. Which she will take. Let's see what she's got here. She has the weirdest combat gear. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's going to take that. She has weirdly a knife in her hand, which she's going to try and stab you with. Okay. So. And misses, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What are you doing? She yells out. Don't hurt me.
Oh, I'm not
I'm
gonna hurt you.
I'm your brother.
Uh-oh. So same thing. This is gonna be +2.
Okay. Ooh, that's a potential fumble, dude. Roll to confirm. Oh, we already have a confirm there. All right. So yeah, no, you don't have to worry about it. You already had a confirm number there. So yeah, that is a fumbleoni.
Yeah, why couldn't I get the next one for my attack? The
That
natural
would've been
20 with
good.
max damage.
Oh man. And look, it was the fumble with min damage.
Yeah.
Wow. That's rare. All right. So yeah, but you miss her and your turn ends. Oh no, what are you gonna do? You see Arendar and his brother over there next to each other, and it looks like Arendar's trying to hit him with a falcata, which you know that sibling rivalry can be
I
a
was gonna
thing.
say, you see us do this pretty much every night, so you're pretty much used to it.
This is called Tuesday.
This is called Tuesday.
Okay. I can't believe I sprained my own ankle trying to kick a hag in the head. I'm just mortified. Can I tell? I mean, it looks like this hag has transformed herself into either Wraith or the likeness of Wraith or.
Yeah, I mean,
Arendar.
you saw her change. I mean, you were only 10 feet away from her,
Right.
and looking right at her when she stepped out.
You know, she doesn't have a bow in her hand, or she doesn't have a falcata and a shield in her hand.
She has a dagger in her hand.
Okay. So I know that she. Okay. Does she still have a dagger?
Yes, she just tried to
And-
stab Arendar with it.
Is this she here?
At this point, we don't know.
Yeah.
That is she. Okay.
Theoretically,
Great. Okay. Did I see Arendar move from here
Oh yeah.
to here?
I went around behind you and ran over
Okay.
over to here and then
So
swung at
that's
her.
something I would have seen. All right. Then I can be reasonably confident that this is the hag, and it is she whom I should kick again. So can I please move here and
Sure.
give her a kick? Actually, I'm gonna do a fist strike, and I'm gonna declare. May I please declare stunning fist?
you can absolutely.
I
think you
will
should stun her.
declare that, and I roll a 17.
17 is a miss.
So that's +1
That's a
bless, +1
19.
prayer, +2 flanking.
Yeah, he's flanking.
That's a 21.
No, 20 is her AC. So that is a hit.
It's a hit.
7 points of damage.
And she has to
And
make a
is
fortitude
she
save.
stunned?
Potentially. So
Uh,
she has to
Your,
make a,
your
it's a
stunning
f-
fist has a DC and
yeah, it's a fort save, right?
it's force save against. It's like
Okay.
there we go.
Half your character
Oh.
level plus your DC 10 plus half character level plus
Plus whiz.
whiz. So what does that come out
What's your
to?
wisdom modifier? Eric, that's for you. What's your wisdom modifier?
What's your wisdom modifier, Eric?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
My wisdom is I'm sorry. I believe it's going to be. Hang on a minute. Sorry. My wisdom, if I can go into meta mode, is 18.
So plus
That's
4.
4. So
it's
plus
4.
2 for half level.
14 plus
2.
2.
So 16
16.
is the DC.
Made it. That's a
Okay,
second.
that's enough natural 20s for you, dude.
Wow.
Not stunned.
So apparently she gives you the finger too. She's giving everybody the finger tonight.
Yeah, she is. She did not take it. It's like in the movies where you punch someone, you see somebody get punched really hard, and their head just kind of comes back around, blood's coming out, they just smile at you. That's what she just did.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm thoroughly creeped out. Can I hit her again?
No, a stunning fist is one and done, right? Or do you
I
get a
do not
second
know.
attack with
It
that?
can be part of it can be part of flurry of blows, but it's up to you since he's on the edge. Both things are on the edge of that lightning sand or whatever. Is that a
If
a
it's
5 foot? If it's a 5 foot step, then yes, he gets a full attack.
he would have avoided the lightning sand, so yeah, he gets a full attack.
Okay. So can I hit her again or no?
You can.
Okay, great.
And you could try another stunning
I'm,
fist, but you've only got so many of those per day, and you burn through those every time you miss.
okay.
Yeah, you can't do more than once per round, it says in that detail.
Oh, you
too.
can't? Okay.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
will be a straight up punch.
Well, okay. Hang on a minute. I'm really irked at her. I want to try something. May I please try a shattering punch?
If the attack hits by as fast as any DR, sure, if you want. I mean, I don't know that it'll do anything
She doesn't have any-
different. Yeah, because she's not. It's not. She doesn't have any hardness or damage. She doesn't have
You
any
know
DR.
what? That's true. That's true. Yeah, I misread that.
Yeah, that would be for like doing somebody against when somebody's like have stone skin on or something.
Gotcha. I'm gonna just hit her.
Okay.
So here we go. In a minute.
Hitting a
1, 2,
woman.
3, and
Terrible.
did I?
Ooh, another potential fumble. Let's roll that again to see if that's confirmed. I'll just go ahead and
Oh,
get the
great.
chart ready real
That's
See
quick
if
here.
he see if he
great.
sprained his wrist now too.
No kid, he sprains his leg. Now he's gonna sprain his wrist. Hitting this one.
Oh.
Oh no, it's
Good.
not a confirmed. No fumble, but that does end your turn. No hit. All right.
Man.
Wraith. It's like looking into a mirror.
I'm gonna move to here,
Okay. All right.
and then I'm gonna fire one shot using deadly. Excuse me, using deadly aim. So now I'm within 30 feet, so I have flanking. So this is going to be whatever it says plus
Plus
4.
4.
Okay. 19 plus 4 is 23.
23.
That is a hit.
So 12 points of damage. plus
Okay.
6 points of sneak attack damage plus 2 points of bleed.
Plus 2 points of bleed.
Plus 2
All
points of
right.
bleed.
So a total of 18 this round, which she only has 6 left. So that arrow takes her right in the pump, passes through her raggedy clothing and hits her amidships right in the chest. And you see blood, this gooey, brackish blood come pooling out of the thing as she looks down and she looks at you. She changes back into her haggy self and sheds the disguise that she had cast on herself and looks quietly at you and says, "You shall be cursed to the end of your days for killing me and my sisters." And she falls to the ground.
Yeah, just lay there and keep bleeding.
The blood continues to gush out for a while, soaking the swampy ground, but we fall out of initiative at that point. For that is the last of the hags.
Need to, if someone can look, see if there's anything magical on it, we need to.
Yeah, I'll go,
touch her,
I'll go
but we need-
loot.
But we need to, well, someone who can do detect magic, so.
Oh,
I can do that.
can
You
tell us
detect
what we
magic
need.
on her. She does have she's wearing like leather armor and has a dagger and a weird sort of extendable pole. None of those radiate magic. The pole is kind of interesting in that it's small, but it has some sort of spring load, so it can go from 4 feet to 8 feet with like a twist. It untwists like a curtain rod or something like that.
I
So
was
it's an
gonna say,
interesting.
she's fighting us with a shower curtain rod?
Well, she didn't fight you with the shower curtain rod. She just has it on her. She was fighting you with a dagger and her spells. She wanted to rely on her spells,
Ah,
but there it is. She does have a small case on her, cylindrical, that looks like it's potentially made out of some sort of snake skin, and there does seem to be a little bit of magic coming out of there. And she also has a pouch that you can tell radiates some magic as well. Beyond the dagger, which is rusty crap, and the pole, which is gooky but interesting, she does also have underneath her sort of raggedy leather armor, she wears a silver necklace with that is has a bunch of red glass beads on it that somebody who knows jewelry would probably reckon could get you 80 gold pieces. It's pretty enough.
okay.
What do you guys want to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I see that cage over behind the pumpkin patch from where I'm at? Or is
Yeah, I mean, it's flush with the ground, but it's obviously that the ground over there has been cleared away quite a bit over by the pumpkin patch. And you do see that there is some sort of thing in the ground there. You're not sure what it is. Maybe you would see some of the stonework around it. You think it might be a well, at least at this distance.
All right. Well, while they're looting, I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay.
And I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
go into the yurt,
All right.
checking for traps and all the rest of that, and then I'm gonna search and loot. Do the thief
Okay.
thing.
All right. While you guys are still looking at the hag, in this snakeskin case is a small, well, it's a small sort of well, it's a scroll of Cure Serious, and it's written on what is you think is the remains of the snake.
Okay.
So it's written on the same sort of snakeskin that the tube is made out of. In the pouch are 4 small vials of a pinkish liquid and a key, a brass key.
Does it match the key or the keys we've already found?
Mm-hmm. So now you have 3, and they're almost identical looking. Although the lock mechanism, the keying part, is different on each key, but the keys themselves are all made of brass and all similarly shaped. They're obviously a set of some sort.
So they all unlock the same thing, but the handles are different?
No, the
unlock 3
handles are all
different-
the same, but they do 3
But they
different
unlock
locks.
3 different locks, okay.
Yep.
So I'll probably get all those to Wraith, because whenever we find something like that, he's gonna be the one messing with that anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured I have the keys. And then we need the magic user to look at the vials to see if he can determine what kind of potions or poisons they are.
I'm gonna need an Arcana check.
Okay,
Not really my thing.
I've got that. $14.
Okay. 14. You're not sure. You're not sure what these do precisely. Although you do get the impression that they're not potions per se, but more elixirs of some sort. The pinkish color doesn't give you any indication of what it's about. It has a strong taste. You'll just take a little dab of it. It has a strong sort of sickly sweet taste, but you're not sure what kind of magic that it has.
Yeah, It's Southern Comfort. Don't drink that.
Yeah.
Boy, all that skipping school didn't do me much good.
You can take, you do get a school off of it, which is enchantment.
Wait, say that again?
So the school of magic is enchantment. You're not sure exactly what this elixir does, but it enchants in some way.
Okay.
So yeah, enchantment spells affect the minds of others, influence them, or control their behavior.
Gotcha.
Is that?
So from that one sip, do I feel like shagging sheep or anything?
No, you don't get any particular feeling from just yeah, and it's not even like a sip. You just take a little, like a finger of it. It's
like
really
a 70s
sweet.
detective going, this is smack.
Yeah, exactly. This Coke is high quality, you know, that kind of thing. No, you do. It has a really sweet taste to it, almost sickeningly sweet. But you don't get any feeling from the magic itself, other than it does some sort of enchantment.
Okay.
I mean, if you get some time, you can do the spell as a ritual and maybe get a better roll.
Okay.
When you if it takes the time. Wraith, you go in to the yurt. I just had it here. And here we go.
So
All right, so you go into the yurt, and when you get in there, there's like a big pumpkin in like a water bath over there. There's a couple of different like beds and stuff like that, and this is obviously the home of the hags. You kind of like cook around a little bit, and you find, frankly, it looks like they stashed stuff individually, that some would claim more than others. So maybe these sisters weren't pooling their things. You find various little homemade chests and things that are scattered about the room. Inside are coins for the most part, and you find when you put it all together, it's about 284 gold pieces.
and do those chests require the brass keys that I have?
No, they're far too small and they don't have locks on them.
Okay.
They're just more like that. You also find a lot of damp clothes, old books that have rotted away, weapons and armor piled up that in places they're all like rusted and stuff like that. I mean, it's all kind of your guess is that this is what they have collected from the people that the boat guy has presented to them.
Yeah, and it's all crap.
It's all crap now. Yeah, they haven't done anything with it. It's all rusty and garbagey now. But that's all you find. All you find in there.
So I'm gonna call to Titus, and once I've checked for traps and made sure it's not gonna be a problem, call him in and do a quick detect magic before we move on.
Okay. Let me pull that.
I mean, I don't see anything except for the 100 gold, but
That's funny.
All right, so you do cast detect magic in there.
Yes.
Hold on. You do, I believe, detect some magical elements that were hidden. 1 second.
Who does loot for this party?
I do
Okay.
the rogue, because that's a good idea.
I'm related to him, so I don't care.
Yeah, so I've been cheating you for generations for
I'm
our
used to
entire
it.
life. It's all
I think
good.
I'm used to it, so it doesn't bug me anymore.
So you do find over by in a pile over by the pumpkin, in much better condition, you find what looks to be you see that there is a sack, and in the sack is a ring that radiates magic, and a buckler that looks to be made of mithril and radiates magic.
Wow.
There's also a red robe cut for a woman, a woman's robe that radiates magic as well, although to a lesser extent than the other two things.
Lord, that's like 5 magic items. What'd you do with our DM? Who are you?
Or what do you do with less?
He's been murdered. All right, Poe, you go over there, and as you approach, you realize pretty quickly that it is not a well in the sense that you thought it was. What it looks like is maybe some sort of sunken prison cell, because the stone, when you get closer, you can see that there is a grate, a metal grate that is over the top of this well area, and you can see that there's a big brass ornate lock connected to the grate. As you approach, you hear a woman's voice come out from what sounds like coming out from there. She's like, "Is anybody out there? Is anybody there?"
You're not the hag stepsister, are you?
What? No, let me out.
I will approach the cage.
All right. So inside, down at the bottom, it's basically it goes down about 12 feet, and standing there, looking fairly perturbed, is a woman that looks like this. She's wearing
in a cage.
she's wearing red clothing, has blonde hair, and she looks irritated. And she says, "Finally, somebody's gotten here. I've heard you guys out there fighting those stupid hags. You guys gonna let me out of here or what?"
I think she should stay.
With that attitude, we're gonna go with or what?
Yeah.
I will ask her who she is.
"My name's Katarina, and I'm from Seaquen, and I got caught by these idiots because I wasn't careful enough, and as I was coming to the swamp and headed for Vidar. They're holding me for ransom to see if my brother will come and pay the ransom. They've sent notes. I assume they've sent notes out, messengers out to go see if they can pay my ransom instead of killing me outright. But frankly, I don't know that my brother will even do it."
Well, if you keep that attitude that you're using with us with him, I'm pretty sure he's not.
I'm gonna do a
What?
sense motive check.
Okay, go ahead.
22. She seemed to be on the up and up.
She does, yeah. I mean, she's genuinely irritated.
She's genuinely sassy.
She's genuinely a pain in the ass.
Well, she may or may not be a pain in the ass, but she's like, "I've been waiting." She's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I feel stupid having gotten caught by these guys. I knew they were here. I let down my guard a little bit, and they put the nab on me. They're talking about that they're going to try and get some ransom off of my brother, which is unlikely because he's as dumb a motherfucker as anybody has ever seen. So the likelihood of him having any money to get me out of this, and that even after that he's going to be willing to part with it to get me out of Hawk is low, which means that I was just waiting for these guys to figure that out, which could have taken months, frankly, considering how dumb they were, and to wait to figure out that they weren't getting paid, and then they were going to eat me then. I was hoping somebody would come around and put the sticks to these guys, and I'm glad it's you. So I apologize for earlier, and I hope none of you guys got killed on my account."
We did find a key. If you'll stop talking, we might let you go.
Oh,
Wait, I suddenly feel a kinship to her. I have a brother who's dumb as dog shit too.
and she's like, "I know, right?" Makes everything harder. Well, so when you get there and you look at the lock, you realize that it is a 3-key lock. And it's made out. It looks like it's made out of that same brass that the keys that you found on each of the hags have. You put them all together, and it looks like these are the keys that go to this lock. Why these hags would take the time to put a 3-key lock on their outdoor prison cell is beyond me. But that's what it looks like.
Well, that way they have to all three be in agreement. Each one had one key.
Good night.
So
Good night.
they had to all three be in agreement before they could open the cage.
Yeah.
So I assume at this
Must
point,
have been that valuable prize.
we're all back here now, I assume.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. You guys go back there.
Yeah, because we're all giving her a hard time.
Well, that's true.
Which direction are you guys headed in? Vidor or Seaquen?
We look down and say, hello, lady.
Oh, you were. And she looks at Ray. He goes, I see what you meant earlier. I understand what you were saying earlier. Yep. Similar. Simpatico. So she's like, are you guys going to stare down here? You've never seen a woman before?
All right.
I'll hand a key to Polearm and Arendar, because I assume the locks aren't like right next to each other. Again, going on the idea that they wanted to have consensus before they did it.
Well, it's a single lock. It's a large brass lock, probably the size of a dinner plate.
Oh,
But
well, never mind.
it has 3 keyholes in it. In the lock itself. It's not 3 locks.
I was thinking they were smarter than that. So yeah, I'll just go put the 3 keys in and unlock it.
Okay. Chink, it unlocks. It strips a little chain out from there, and you can lift the sort of the metal grate that's on top of this out. She's like, anybody got a rope?
No.
Appreciate you letting me out.
We freed you. It's up to you now.
Yeah, she's like, what am I gonna do? Climb out of this thing? It's 12 feet deep. I'm 5
lower
feet
it
tall. All right, so you lower her up. She jumps on there, and with surprising agility, she pops up the rope. She also doesn't worry too much. It's a dirt hole that she's been in, but she looks relatively clean. And so one thing that you notice, Titus, is that when she gets to the top, she looks around and she's like, oh, sorry about earlier. Thank you very much. And she sort of like waves her hands in front of her, and all the dirt flies off of her clothes.
Anyway,
Oh, that's funny.
wait, so she easily ascends, and then she seems to magically brush away the dirt.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
So does her red fabric match that robe or cape or whatever we found back in the yurt?
Yeah, it does.
So she stole it from the hags.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if there's something that all hags love, it's rich red robes.
And that's why you gave us all these magic items, because they're all hers and we're going to have to give them
Yeah,
back.
she's gonna want them back.
No, we've had these for life. We've had these forever.
Yeah.
I
Good
know.
night. Good night. See ya. Bye bye.
Contest winner. Flawless
All right.
victory.
All right. So, well, she basically, those of you who came up later, she's like, look, my name's Katarina. Nice to meet you. Thank you for helping me out of this. I knew, she goes, it was more of a pain in the butt than anything. But, if my brother wasn't going to show up with any money to give these guys. So I figured it was only a matter of time. So I appreciate you getting me out of there.
Good. You need to get us into your town.
My town? You mean Seaquen?
Well, actually, first of all, when were you last in Seaquen?
Oh, I've been in that hole for about 5 days, maybe 6.
Okay, so you won't necessarily know if anything recent has changed in Sequen's open door policy.
What do you mean?
Oh, we were told that they were starting to close their doors to refugees. We need to get into the city. And if
I haven't heard anything like that. It doesn't seem like that the council would do something like that. If anything, they're doing their best to support as many refugees as they can, and they've got a lot of them coming in. But they've solicited some of the elves. The elven shipmen are helping out. There's everybody's sort of pulling together to help these people out. I can't imagine honestly, there's no walls. I don't know that they could close the city.
Okay. Now you're trying to get to.
Well, I was going to Vidor, but frankly, I may be. I'm inclined to go back with you. My business in Vidor is probably completed. Done by now. I was going to buy some boats, but I can get boats in Seaquen.
And
What are
Vidor's
you going to buy boats for or from?
Well, there's a lot of boats coming into Seaquen. So I was working for a guy named Corthion, who well, I could take you to him. Basically, a lot of
But that's not the same guy that sold us.
No.
No.
No. This is a half orc in Seaquen. Well, out of Seaquen. Basically, there's a lot of people who are coming by rowboat and things like that, coming to Seaquen, refugees and escapees and things like that. Carthion is buying their boats, and fixing them up, and then he's going to resell them to him when the unpleasantness dies down. That's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but he was going to give me a good deal on a couple of boats that I was going to sell to a couple of people I know in Vidor. I was going to Vidor to solidify the deal and make sure that everything was.
Vidor, is that where we just came from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cajun shack on the swamp.
Yep.
So at this
Oh.
point, our mission is to get to Seaquen and to go to the Lyceum.
Yeah.
But we now have a little personal sidetrack that would would have us want to go back to Vidor.
Yeah. We've got a wee bit of business.
But I don't know if that can't wait,
Yeah.
because what we were going to Seaquen for actually is somewhat important.
Yes.
And the whole revenge cold thing, I think it would be better if he thought he was successful,
Uh-huh.
and then like 2 weeks from now, I rip his guts out through his nose.
After I cut his head off.
Well, you'd have to. I'm not strong enough to do that otherwise.
It's good to hear family making plans to.
Right, it's family togetherness.
Yes.
together, yeah.
Just
This is how I
a
think
couple of
it is.
guys, not a
Yeah.
cell phone in sight, living the life. That's what these.
Just bonding.
We fight on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we plot revenge.
It's a good schedule.
Well, she's like, well, the guy I was supposed to meet to talk about the boats, he's probably not in Vidor anymore. He's probably headed back the other direction. So I missed my window, but I could go back but so I'm probably headed back to Seaquen. Is that, from what I'm hearing, that's what you guys are doing? You're headed to Seaquen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get in there, so
And yeah, she could
be
navigate.
grateful as thanks for us letting you out of here, you could get us into the city.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I could get you in the city. I got to be honest with you. This whole idea that the city would be closed to refugees seems odd. Seaquen has been taking in refugees for the last couple of weeks, ever since the fighting broke out. And there's a lot of refugees there, but the council took the stand that they were going to help anybody that they could. So I doubt that they would be in a position where they would. I mean, and the city doesn't have any. There's no city walls.
Okay.
So more than likely, that guy was just lying on all fronts.
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
something has changed in the past week, then we have a knowledgeable citizen.
Mhm.
But also someone who at this point knows how to navigate back there from where we are.
Yeah.
So
Ask her, how good is she with boats?
I'm decent with boats.
Good. Just became our new captain.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got no desire to stay here anymore. You don't have any food or wine or anything, do you? They've been throwing down like frogs and stuff, and honestly, plays hells with my
I'm sure we've got
my
something.
digestion.
I'll give her
I'm too
something.
young
from what we
to
got.
drink wine.
I'm too young to drink wine. Says, oh no. She kind of looks at her and she's like, oh.
I'm not sure there's a drinking age in medieval
Yeah.
fantasy. There's not even a drinking age in modern Italy. So I think you'll be all right.
Hold on, I'm tweeting that later.
Like I said, I'll give her whatever, a helping of whatever it is we've
Yeah,
got.
we've got rations and
Yeah.
something.
When she eats, does she genuinely look ravenous, as though for 5 days, as though for 5 days she has eaten only toads?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she digs in. She's like, "Oh, that looks fantastic." Even though it's standard sort of bread and dried beef rations and things like that, yeah, she tucks in pretty solidly.
Right.
She does that. She essays a tiny feminine belch, and then says, "All right, during the thing, she's asking you guys questions. You guys killed all 3 of the sisters?" And she's like, "That's great," that kind of thing. She's like, "Oh, you know what? Before we take off, I got to go get my stuff." And she goes into the yurt.
We just hide the stuff we've already grabbed. I don't know what you're talking about.
And you hear her inside, sort of muffled, is like, "Damn it, where'd they put it?" And she's looking around. You could hear outside the yurt. You could hear her like throwing stuff around, tossing it. She comes out and she's got a sort of a disappointed look on her face. It's like, "God damn it, I don't know where they put my stuff. You guys." You guys didn't see any. She's got a sort of a rapier with her that she's obviously pulled out of the pile. It's got rust on it. She's trying to like wipe it off and stuff like that. She goes, you guys didn't see a ring and a robe, did you, anywhere around here? No? All right.
I'm gonna
Well-
pull out the Semite silk dress and go, it's kind of scuzzy because one of them was wearing it, but is this yours?
No, that's not it. Thank you though.
Shove it back down.
Okay. All right. Well, she sort of wipes off the scabbard for the thing and straps it on and puts the rapier in the thing. It's like, you guys want to shift? I mean, you guys got any reason to stick around?
No.
I wish I'd have found my stuff. That's it. I swear to you guys, as you guys as my witness, anytime I meet any hags from now on, I'm killing them. They're all thieves and liars.
I thought that was a given.
Well, sometimes I don't kill them because I will go away from them. But now if I find out one's around, I'm going to go out of my way.
So now
Stupid hags.
we just have the one flat bottom boat, right? The thing in the picture here with the canoe, that's not ours. That's not.
Yeah,
theirs.
that's not there.
Okay, so we can load up in the flat bottom boat
Mhm.
and Arendar and all his muscles can row or push or whatever the hell,
Do whatever I'm told to do.
and she can navigate.
And she's the one, yeah. She's the one that's gonna be telling me for the next day or whatever that I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
No,
Don't
not like that.
don't worry,
Yeah.
Ono. You weren't in the yurt when I pilched it, so you know nothing about it. So your
Conscience is clean.
your moral compass is spinning in circles, confused as normal.
As
Yeah.
far as the ankle, it's less of a sprain and you more just sort of twisted it. It will heal on its own. It'll take about a day, but you'll get those points back.
Yeah, typically those heal by the next combat or by the next day.
Yeah. What's tough? All right. So, once you guys get done eating and you guys, you sort of, take one last gander around the, this weird camp. She's ready to shove off when you guys are. She's like, I'll take it to Seaquen.
All right,
Outstanding.
let's
go.
roll.
And we've been together long enough, Ono, that we know that you require plausible deniability.
Yeah. You're the
So-
BA Baracus of this group.
So,
Yeah, that's it.
I pity the fool that doesn't tell me about how we're stealing stuff from people. All right, so you guys get in the boat, and you've still got most of the day left because you guys got here sort of in the morning because you rested overnight. So you still got most of the day left. I mean, it's been a pretty strenuous 18 hours, but the swamp is still, you don't have to fight the current too much. There's a fair amount of that, and you guys move off.
Yeah, we're ready to get to a real city.
Yeah. So, and you're headed that way. So she'll tell you that, we're only about probably 11, 12 miles from where the swamp ends. We'll go overland from there. But she's like, look, I'll introduce you to Carthion if you want to sell this boat. I'll make sure he gives you a good price for it.
Maybe. We might have to use it to go take care of
at
our
some point, we need to go back
business
to Vidor.
up north.
Back to Vidor.
No, you won't be able to take it all the way to Seaquen because of the elvish. So the elvish, there's an elvish interdiction's too strong a word. They've got a bit of a line of ships around the city, and largely the elves and the council of Seaquen are on good terms. The elves are sort of helping them out. There's a lot of discussion. She'll tell you. There's a lot of talk that the Sargavans are going to infiltrate people into the city, pretending to be refugees, including members of the Scourge, and at some point they would rise up. So they did this at Gate Pass. They did it at thing. The Scourge mine. Word is that the Scourge guys, the Scourge assholes, have been running roughshod over a lot of the farmsteads on the border of the Elvish towns. They've been killing Mwangi and all that kind of stuff. So there's a fair amount of worry. So the elves are blocking boats. You guys don't look like Sargavans, so you guys don't look like to me Sargavan agents, so because the Sargavan agents wouldn't have helped me out. So I imagine you're okay, but we probably should not take the boat around to the primary docks because you'll have to answer the elves for that, and they'll search you and that kind of stuff. Just easier to go to beach the boat at the swamp, at the end of the swamp, and walk in.
Okay.
All right. So you guys continue to go for another probably 6-8 hours along the swamp. There's some places that are so shallow that you have to pull rather than paddle. But ultimately it starts to be more land than swamp, and the water begins to form itself into more channels and things like that, although there's still a fair amount of standing water. Comes to a point where you begin to hear voices in the distance, several voices. And Katarina goes, that's Carthion's place. We'll go up there. You can talk to him. And you guys pull over there. And sure enough, as you get closer, you can see that there's like a sort of a beachhead. It's not a beach per se. It's mud, but it's obviously a place where the land gets higher, and it becomes land instead of swamp. There are probably 20 or 30 people wandering around an area that's maybe 100 yards square. There are literally dozens, maybe over 100 boats pulled up on the shore there. Flat bottom boats for the most part, some rowboats, a couple of old sailboats in the back, various kinds, different kinds of things. There's you can see humans and elves and people working. They're either working on the boats or refitting them in some way. There's a lot of noise and sawing going on. Wood being transferred. There's a lot of people working on these boats. And as you guys pull up and come to a stop, you see a big half orc come out of the sort of group of workers and step over to you guys. This guy right here. And he says, Katarina, about time you got back. How was things in Vidor? Everything all right? You spent a longer time than I thought you would. Did you meet your guy? And Katarina's like, you wouldn't believe this bullshit. I got about halfway there and I got caught by a couple of hags. He's like, not those 3 sister-hags that live down in the swamp. You knew about those guys. She's like, I know. I got trapped by those guys and it was stupid. But these guys helped me out. And she points to this. These are some dudes that helped me out. That's Arendar over there. That's Wraith, and that guy over there is Titus, and that big fellow over there is Polearm. He calls himself, and this young fella. And she kind of pats Ono on the shoulder. This is Ono. He's only 17.
18.
And the
18.
dwarf sleeping over there is
And Vondram. That's a dwarf sleeping over there is Vondram. I don't know what he does. He doesn't talk very much. Anyway, these guys helped me out, so they're looking to maybe sell this boat. So do them a favor. He's like, yeah, I could do him a favor. Nice to meet you guys. That's a nice boat you got there. Where you in from?
Here and there.
We got the boat in Vidor.
Oh, did you? All right. Well, it's probably, he kind of looks over. He's like, I'm pleased it didn't sink on you. That kind of stuff. Those Vidorians, they play a little fast and loose with the rules of boat writing sometimes. We sell a lot of boats over there, though, so I can't talk too bad about them. All right. So
we can.
you looking to sell?
Yeah.
Yes, but as long as we can get what we need to out of it.
All right, well, let me take a look around. He goes around the boat. He's like, tapping it. He's got this stick in his hand, this pole. He kind of like taps the sides of it. There's a couple of places where he sort of pokes at it to see if there's any dry rot or anything in there. Looks inside. Gonna need another. Go to page. Do that for him. It's a pretty good boat, especially for a Vidor make. Give you 10 for it.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's not going to work.
You guys remember what you paid for it?
I do.
What was it?
40.
You paid 40 for this?
I didn't say I told him that.
Oh, okay.
You asked me if I remembered what we paid for it.
All right, it's less. You paid 40 for this boat? Well, he goes, I don't know that I can give you much more than 10. There's some repairs I got to make here. I got my own profit margin, but since you're friends with Katarina, I've done a lot of business with Katarina. She's pretty smart cookie and she knows her way around. So
And
she says you're okay. I'll say you're okay. Tell you what, I'll go up to 15.
You
So
know,
otherwise I can drag it into the woods and when I need to go back to Vidor, just come and pick it back up.
Yeah,
Well, if you want to keep it here, you don't want to sell it. I can spot you some space, give you a good price on that, silver a day.
silver a day for
And with that, I'll keep it safe, and we'll get some tarpaulin over it so it doesn't get any water damage when the rain comes, and you'll be good.
I want to do a sense motive on this guy.
Okay. 26.
So on
So
the price, because I did sense motive quite a high one when we bought the boat. Now, the side to that is it was the boat and guide services, so it wasn't just the boat.
right.
When the guide services ended up to be worth less than nothing, but that's beside the point.
Well, guide services, it's a sliding scale, you know. I mean, you never, you know, it's
Sometimes you'll get where you're going. Sometimes you'll get your leg eaten by a hag. You never know.
it's all very subjective.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's a little bit of supply and demand. You can see that he's got dozens of boats here. And so, you know, for him, it's a buyer's market, right? At Vidor, there weren't a lot of boats available. So there was, you know, more of a seller's market where, yeah, so they were able to charge a higher price. You don't get the impression that he's trying to steal from you. You do get the impression that he's pricing aggressively because he wants to make a profit at some point down the road. The price of a silver a day for docking the boat, leaving it here, and making sure that it doesn't have anything bad happen to it, and covering it with canvas, that's reasonable. You don't know enough about boats to say if 15 gold pieces is a reasonable price for this boat. You get the impression based on the 26 expense motive that he feels he's being generous. But he also is looking to make a profit on this boat. He's going to be able to sell it. You definitely get the impression that he's that profit margin is a factor.
Yeah, he's going to sell it in an hour and a half after we're gone for 40 is what's going to happen.
are we gonna need this boat again?
Yeah, because we're
going
probably
back to Vidor.
we're going to have to go back to Vidor to murder that guy.
Can-
Wait, I didn't say that to Ono. Ono may
got a
never
little-
have. Ono may never have to get on the boat again. We'll leave his ass in Seaquen.
We need to go talk with someone in Vidor. It's very important.
Got it.
But no, we won't necessarily need this boat again.
We will
And-
need something to get up there, and if we've already got this one.
Yeah, but the other thing is we don't know how long we're going to be. I mean, a silver a day is reasonable according to the sense motive check, but we don't know how long we're going to end up being at the Lyceum. So if it's 2 days and we're back here getting the boat back to Vidar, that's probably the better option. If we're going to be there for a month dealing with bureaucrats, then we come back and it was a silver a day for a month, and now we've bought the boat again.
10.
10 silvers and a gold.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, I mean,
I'd say we pay it just to keep it here.
Sure. Okay.
Anybody else have a vote?
Yes. I vote yes. Sure.
I'll go along.
So yeah, I'll give him a gold. I'll take
Okay.
So for the first 10 days, it's covered.
you got it. All right, so he waves over some guys, human and a dwarf. He says, "You guys take this boat, park it over there with the storage in the storage area. I need you to put a tarpaulin on it. Make sure the canvas is waxed. I don't want any water get into this, and make sure all the equipment that's in there is safe. All right, take it over there. You got it, boss. We'll take care of it." And they basically start dragging your boat, across the sodden ground over to the point where he pointed. He goes, "Gold will hold you for 10 days. If you need to hold it longer, I'll hang on to it. Just send a messenger or come on out and I'll make sure it's here for you. I will tell you though, if I don't hear from you for 15 days after you run out of money, I'm going to assume you abandon it and I'm going to put it up for sale. Just telling you up front."
Fair enough.
All right. Shakes your hand. Done. Katarina, you going to Vidor yet? Did how'd it go with the guy? And she's like, you wouldn't believe it. So they start talking. Basically, they talk for a couple of minutes, and then she's like, look, I got to get these guys to Seaquen. I'll check you later. He's like, see you later. And she looks at you guys. You're like, you ready to go?
Yes,
Yep.
very much.
All right. So you guys begin walking in this time. You get out of the boat burrow, and you basically you walk another probably 500 yards or so. And at just about the time that the sound of the boat place sort of dies in the distance, you hear the sound of axes. And as you come forward, you can see there's a bunch of woodsmen in the woods all around, and you can see that there's a pretty big operation of chopping wood, shaving the things off, and taking the logs in the direction you're going to Seaquen. And then this guy is one of the woodsmen, and as you go past, you see him sort of like salute. He's like, where are you headed? He yells out, where are you headed?
Which
Seaquen?
direction are we headed? Are we headed north?
Yeah, at this point, we should be headed basically north, right?
Yeah, you're headed directly towards Seaquen. Yeah.
Then I'm gonna smile at him and say south.
South. He's like, all right. That was a stupid question, wasn't it? He goes, well, if you're headed to Seaquen, you can catch a ride on one of our carts if you want. Katarina, is that you? She's like, yeah, it's me. She's like, I know this guy from town. Hey, how's it going? That kind of thing. And she's like, yeah, he's kind of the thing. And so but if why maybe we sleaze up on this and get a cart ride for the next half a mile or 3/4 of a mile to get into the city. And she's like, hey, she turns on a dime. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Runs up to him and gives him a big hug. She's like, hey, my friends, I just got back from over at Carthion's. My friends just sold a boat. We was walking over to the city. You mind if we catch a ride on one of your carts? He's like, oh yeah, Katarina, no problem. Get on. There's just one leaving in about just a couple minutes. She's like, great, that's so nice. Thank you so much. You can see she's being sickly sweet to this guy. But gives him another hug and says, come on, guys, let's go get on that cart. Thanks again. You get the impression that basically these guys are felling wood, and Katarina confirms it. She's like, these guys are cutting down trees because we had this huge influx of people into the city. They've put up a lot of tent cities and stuff like that, so there's they need a lot of wood. They're building houses and facilities and stuff like that to handle these things. They need a lot of wood. They need a lot of canvas. Some of the stuff is coming in from the river. Some of it is coming in from here. Obviously there's lots of work to be done. They can't cut it fast enough. But you do get onto the cart, which leaves in just a few minutes, and you begin making your way to Seaquen. And it's not too far when you come over a little rise in the ground and you see the city spreading out underneath you.
We attack.
Finally, the city of Seaquen.
Wow.
But your main target since you left Gate Pass is now in sight. You've murdered a lot of people on the way here. You've seen a lot of killing. You've seen a lot of death.
You caused a lot of killing.
You've caused a lot of killing. You guys are coming along on this road essentially. Here, let me mark it here for you. You guys are basically coming this direction. Do you see that?
I see nothing.
Nope.
Left hand side.
Let me scroll around a little bit. Ah,
All the way to the left.
okay.
You see that arrow right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are coming from that direction, from inland, and once you get a look at the city, you realize how ludicrous the boat guy's story was about closing the city. So you see a couple of things. It's sort of on a little weird peninsula that sticks out into this immense river, and you can see a couple of different things. One, you've got two pretty big harbors that have fishing boats to either side of them, including one, this sheltered harbor over here, which seems to be the main one. There's a lot of activity there, as befits a town that is astride a huge river. There's a lot of boats going in and out of there. One of the things that you do see, though, is there are several ships, and in some cases warships, sort of parked around in various places, both in the harbors or near the harbors and outside of them, that surround essentially the city. These are definitely, by the look of them, you can see they are elvish ships.
Yeah, this
And
is the elven blockade that Katarina was talking about.
right. So it's not, yeah. And she'll go on to, if you point it out to her, she'll go on to say, this is not really a blockade. They're not blocking anything. What they are doing is they're inspecting any boat that comes to Seaquen by river. They're boarding and inspecting those boats. There's been a lot of talk about Sargavan infiltrators doing the same thing to Seaquen that they did to Gate Pass, which is basically infiltrate the city over time, and then at some predetermined point rise up, cause a bunch of problems, and take over the city. In the meantime, Seaquen has been a stop for a lot of refugees from the fighting. So the Sargavan fighting didn't just stop at Gate Pass. All through that region, there were fighting, and the Mwangi, the dwarves of the forest, the elves, various organized military antagonists to the Sargavans have fielded a variety of efforts. So there is fighting going on, but in some cases, not everybody's a fighter. So the bulk of the refugees seem to be, showing up as a result of those fighting. She will look at you guys. I'm assuming that you've told her that you guys are from Gate Pass originally over the course of the last several hours.
Aaron thinks she's too sassy. He wouldn't have.
Bo would have talked.
Yeah, at some point somebody would have said so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she would say, she's like, look, one place that we haven't seen a lot of refugees from is Gate Pass. She goes, to be honest, you're the first group from Gate Pass that I've seen. I've heard there are other Gate Pass, but I don't know how many of your people are here. There's the other groups are much larger. As you go closer, you can see that there are a bunch of people sort of on this road, and as you get closer still, you can hear the sounds of these things, because as you pass through, you come up on these various kinds of tent cities, and that's really what they are. So the Seaquen city proper is sort of gathered around this this largish area around the northern harbor. That's really the city. All these buildings around here. There's another portion of the city over here, which is mostly ruined. Yeah, well, it's not. It's behind broken down walls. Those walls are sort of broken, and those are mostly ruins on that end. And some of those ruins extend into the river. There's probably somebody in Seaquen who knows what that's all about over there. Katarina doesn't, but she's like, nobody lives there because it's all kind of trashed. Although we will probably, if we keep taking refugees in, we may have to move some people in there or near there. Right now, she'll say the council is sort of holding this area in abeyance, partially because this area of the city is one of the more wealthier ones, and they don't like having additional tent cities in their backyard. But if the numbers keep coming in, the likelihood is that some of this is going to spread out into that area. But right now they're holding it away from that.
Yeah, the rich people don't want to have poor people living that close to them.
No, of course not. So there's a couple of things you guys approach. She gives you a quick sort of update on what it is. So this area right here is what's called Little Dasani. There's about 400 humans and dwarves, and most of them come from lands of a noblewoman named Lady Timor, which is sort of to that's from very closer to the Sargavan capital, closer to that area. Those guys were largely the first really substantive group to show up here. The Sargavans attacked there even before they attacked Gate Pass and drove those out. Word is that that Lady Timor has been either killed or captured by the Sargavans, and they are not happy about it. So those guys over there, it's about 400 guys, mostly humans and dwarves. They have petitioned the Seaquen Council to provide them. They've asked that the Seaquen Council provide them with arms and armor. They want to get back into the fight because a lot of them are military men, and they're looking to get in there. They're not at all happy that their noble liege was captured or killed, and they were kicked out of their lands, and they want a little payback. But so far, the council hasn't authorized that. And even though that area looks pretty good as tent cities go, it's organized. It's relatively clean. It seems that there's a certain amount of discipline among the people there that is being shown. There are women and children there. It's not just all fighters and stuff like that. Probably half are fighting men and the rest are women and children, but everything seems to be pretty orderly. She goes, there's a guy named Xavius Fobane, who's a dwarven commander, who's sort of in charge of it. And he keeps everything running smoothly over there. These guys here, she'll say, are what they call themselves the Cinderees. It's about 400 humans, half orcs, and some gnomes. These guys, they've taken it on the chin from the Sargavans for a long time. They were always rebellious against the local leadership of the Chilaxian leadership. Problem here is that their problem is that they've got a lot of clerics and druids in there, and they're all hostile to each other. There's a certain there's a fighter that's trying to name Lorabeck Adelsberg, who's trying to keep order, but she's also not interested in being in control of everything. So she's trying to just keep the peace, but not having too much of it. There's also, she looks at Ono when she tells you this, there's also some monks, a group of monks called the Monks of the Echoed Souls, who is led by a guy who calls himself Dreams No Sorrows. But they seem to be taking the brunt of a lot of things. Nobody really likes them for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I see. Interesting.
That's not your organization, is it?
Let me, I forget. Hold on.
It's been a long trip.
Yeah.
I am from the Monastery of Untwisting Iron.
Okay. So not the Echoed Souls. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Give me a quick knowledge check.
Yeah. Knowledge here. Should it be knowledge religion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nope. Wow. Sure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you've never heard of any group called the Monks of Echoed Souls. So your education didn't really lie in that direction. Isn't that the third one for you tonight? Yeah, you're bringing the fumbles tonight. No question. So these guys, hold on. I know the suspense is killing you. These guys here are what are called the Ostaliners, and they're not refugees. They're mostly sailors. I mean, technically, they're probably refugees, but they've come here and they're trying to essentially. They're sailors who've come here from other places, sailors and merchants, and they're trying to make money off of the refugee population. They're not super well liked, but frankly, the fact that they're here and they're working at both harbors and making adding to the workforce, they're a bit rapacious from a merchanting standpoint, but it's good to have the hands, especially since so many more people are in town. But they're primarily they're mostly sailors. There's some mercenaries, various kinds of things that are trying to, sort of make money off of what's going on. And then the majority of these guys, this area here, are largely Sargavan refugees. There are nearly 2,000 humans and half orcs, a few other races there. Most of them had fled the oncoming war. They had very few provisions, and frankly, the conditions here are among the worst of the 10 cities. A lot of them don't have. Some of them are mages that are trying to run away from the scourge. Some of them are, just poverty-stricken refugees who are trying to eke out a living or trying to figure out what's going on. It's a bit of it's not very pleasant down there, and the general consensus is that it's not a great place for people who don't live there to be there after dark. There's crime. There's pilferage. There's been some incidents where the suspicion is that there are people coming out of this area into the city proper and stealing, raiding warehouses and things like that, merchant concerned. The council's trying to do what they can for them, but it's just, there's a lot of them. There's 2,000 people.
So Wraith and I are gonna go hang out there at night.
Well, if you say that, she'll say, look,
kind of like our neighborhood.
well, like the likelihood is if there's anybody from Gate Pass, they'll be down in there.
Yeah, imagine that.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you know how it is with you people.
From the ghetto.
From the ghetto. Population. So all told, there's about 3,000 refugees here in Seaquen. The normal population of this city is about 1,500. So, there's a lot. I mean, when it comes to politics, local politics, all discussion is about dealing with the refugees, how to accommodate more refugees, how are we going to feed all these people, how are we going to make sure that the Sargavans don't send infiltrators and get past, that kind of stuff. It's all everybody talks about in the city is how do we deal with this kind of stuff.
So after listening to the sort of the lay of the land type of thing, I'm going to ask, where's the Lyceum?
Yeah.
So the Lyceum is right here. So the Lyceum is in the middle of town. Let me get back here.
We need to go as soon, wherever this cart stops.
That's where I say it is.
Wherever this cart stops, because I'm assuming it's not going into the town proper. If the
Hey, I
materials
was right.
if the materials are to be used for these tent cities and stuff,
Check me out. Read the module for the win.
there you go. And once we get off this cart, we need to go directly there.
Yeah.
Well, she will say, she goes, I know the Lyceum. What she will say is that you have to be able, you have to have some reason to go there. They're being very,
We have
they're
a
being
reason.
very particular about who they let in and who they don't. But I get what you're saying. That's there. It's
That's where
it's
we're
a big
going.
place. Okay. All right. As the cart goes closer, she tells you all this stuff. You do see that there are some makeshifts. Too weak a word. But there are some basically guard posts that before entering the city that are stopping everything. So as the cart gets by there, the guys who are driving the wood cart, they see you coming and they're like, all right, yeah, move it on through, and they raise the thing to let you come in. As you guys hop off, though, you see one of the guards kind of like look over, is like, you lot, come over here, let's talk.
I'll head over there.
Should I send arrows first, or do you want to actually talk to this clown?
I always like it when I'm talking to him and you're sending arrows there. Gives the element of surprise.
Certainly livens up the conversations, doesn't it?
Family.
All right, so it's this guy right here. And basically he waves you over to his side. He says, looks like you're new here, Katarina. Katarina basically says, hey, look, I got you to the city. thanks again for getting me out of that hole. If you know everything goes well, you get some time, look me up. I'll take you for dinner and drinks as a way to say hi. But I've got business. I gotta go. And they seem to know her. She goes through the thing and she just gets waved through. Same as like the thing. This guy stops you guys. He's like, hello. My name is Hathalero. I'm sorry, I forgot my name.
Since he can't say his name,
I can't say my own name.
I'll stop him and say, is she always this sassy?
That woman's like when she was born, she stepped in a bucket of sass and it never came off.
Okay, just checking. All right, go ahead. Continue.
She's like, my name's Hathalero. Guards here, you new to I don't recognize you. You guys are new to Seaquen?
Yeah.
All right then. Let me go ahead. He's like, hey, I got new ones. He goes, I apologize for taking the time. You look like you've been on the road a while. I'll take as little of your time as possible. But we do have to make a record of people coming in, you know, and where they're from, and so we can keep an eye on things. So I'll need all your names and where you came from. So if you don't mind, he gets a big clipboard with a piece of parchment on it, and he's just, you know, another guardsman comes over and brings over a little sort of desk and stool, and he sits down and he's like, all right, who's first now? You? Where are you from?
Arendar will look back and say, does anybody having problems with this? If so, I'm going to tell them.
No.
Okay, so I'll just rattle off, point at people, say who they are.
Okay.
Say, all from Gate Pass.
Gate Pass, huh? Oh, I've heard terrible things coming out of Gate Pass. The Scourge is doing terrible things there. I hope you got out clean and you didn't run into any trouble.
You could almost say that.
Trouble ran into us a few times.
Yeah.
Are any of you wounded? Does any of you need medical care or anything like that? If so, we can get you.
Point at Poe and say that man over there. Make sure that we're doing good. So
that man. Oh, is he a medic?
We yelled that at him a lot.
Are you a medic, sir? Would you be willing, sir? As he takes down his name, he's like, you know, we could always use people who know their way around the healing arts. Would you be willing to volunteer some time to assist in some of the people? We've got people who are coming through that, in some cases, have been exposed to the elements quite a bit. Some of them are sick. Many are wounded. We could use an additional bit of hands if you'd be willing to do so. Obviously, you're under no obligation to, but if you would be willing to, I can let the powers that be know, and they can come see you, see about whether or not you'd be able to help them.
We have to meet someone at the Lyceum first, and once I know what we're doing, we'll let you know.
The Lyceum. Do you know who you're supposed to be talking to there?
Did Torrent ever tell us who we were seeing at the Lyceum?
I don't think she ever did. I think she expected to be here with you.
That was foolish.
It was foolish.
She didn't know she was an NPC, right?
And therefore useless and probably going to die.
I'm probably gonna die.
You know, that's the thing about DM is you never tell your NPCs that they're going to be murdered until it happens. You want to be a surprise to everybody.
Yes. She was flattened by a fire beetle. Sorry.
Well, he's never heard of this Torrent person. Was she a professor there? I've never heard of her, but I don't know everybody up there.
No. We've just got information to get there, so.
Okay, well.
Is the River Eye guy from there, or was that somebody that was from
what?
Well, River Eye, the gnome.
Guts.
Yeah, so the gnome that you guys talked to, no, he was from the Sargavan capital primarily, and that's how he acquired the documents.
Right.
Was he basically split when he realized that war was about to start? He left the capital, came to Gate Pass, and began making arrangements to get the case of documents to Seaquen. He felt that people here at the Lyceum in Seaquen could make best use of those documents.
No.
But that's when that's when the shitstorm started.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give super detail, but just let them know that, we've been tasked to get some information to the Lyceum. So
Understood. Mr. Polearm, should I put you down as being a potential volunteer and have somebody come see you once you get settled?
Sure.
Good man. I'm glad to hear it. So he puts a little asterisk on it. Somebody will come see you in the next probably 24, 36 hours. I know they're having a devil of a time in some of those, in some of the camps, especially the Sargavan camp. It's a terrible thing. Some of the conditions that they're living in down there. We're doing the best we can, but some of them, there's just too many of them. We're trying to help them as best we can, but it just seems to all go sideways. A lot of injuries, a lot of people need help. I'm glad you're on board there. So he gets all your names. He's like, all right, I've got your names. But now I have to, I hope you'll forgive me. I have to ask a bit of an awkward question. Do you have
Women. I prefer women.
That's not the awkward question.
But thank you for asking.
Good to know. I feel much safer now. He basically says, look, most people show up here. They haven't got a silver to their name. You guys looking to be in good shape, well fed. It looks like you've been doing all right. It looks like you've had a heck of a bit of a struggle on the road, but you seem to be in good health and everything looks okay. Might I ask, do you have resources?
Yeah, we won't
Yes.
be imposed on you for resources.
Okay, good. If that's the case, that's excellent news. Tell you what, that way I won't at this point. Do you expect to be staying in the refugee camps?
No.
No,
Oh, good. All right. Well, I will let you know a couple of things. So one, it's good to know that you'll be there. People with financial means obviously you can go into the city, you can bypass the camps. Otherwise, I was going to have to try and find you space, and that's a bit of a trial right now in those camps. But try and find out a place where you would go. I have to be realistic. Coming from Gate Pass, I would probably have to put you in with the rest of the Sargavans. It would be unpleasant. So I'm pleased to hear that you have some resources. What I can tell you is you can get in, go into the city. And there's a couple of places I know that might be in, but I'll tell you what, the Supreme Squid Lounge is probably best. It's reasonably priced, but for now, everything, inflation's got everything going up. But you'll get as far as I know, and that's my latest information, which as of yesterday, they still were holding rooms for travelers. Now, as you can imagine, housing in this town is at a premium. We've essentially tripled our population over the last 2 weeks. But most of that tripling has come from people who have barely a silver to their name. So that would be my place to recommend to you. Do you need a servant? Because I know a good one who's just right over there. You could see. So he sort of like looks over. He's like, "Would you care? Do you require a servant?" And he looks over. There's a group of sort of like young men and older boys kind of hemming and hawing around. They're not very well clothed and that kind of stuff, but they're sort of looking curiously at people as they come through, looking for opportunities. He's like, I could put you in touch with a servant. Now, obviously, you'll negotiate your own thing, but the guy I'm thinking of, eminently trustworthy. He'll do you right.
is his name Mahmoud? Because if so,
His name is the guy I'm thinking of is a guy named Figovich. He's a good kid. He knows his way around the city, and he's, in my opinion, very trustworthy.
So I have a question. With all of the influx of refugees, has the guards and all of the security been increased in the city?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had to. It's
So does having a local as a guide and servant give us faster access to where we need to get to go?
potentially, certainly. It'll be, a local guide can certainly get you around town, make sure that, run errands, take care of things for you, that kind of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily have to do yourselves. Make introductions even. Now, obviously, Figovich, he was born here, a bit of a ruffian, but he's a solid kid. He'll do you right. But yeah, if I'm reading you right, it might ease your transition into the city. Certainly, I think it would.
I'm in.
Well then make the introduction.
All right, sounds good.
If you think the little ruffian is the right person, then
I'm on board as soon as he said ruffian. So
I'll teach him some new tricks before I give him back.
yeah,
He may teach you some new tricks before you get him back. He looks over. He's, hold on a second, sir. He stands up from his little desk. He's like, "Yo, Fig, come on over here, boy." And you see this guy, tall, skinny, weird-looking dude. He's got a long knife, that kind of stuff. A little raggedy looking. Comes over and he's like, "Oh, hey, Ass, what's the deal? You got business for me, huh?" And Ass like, these fellas are new in from Gate Pass.
He's Cockney. He's a definite go.
He's a definite. These fellas are in from Gate Pass. They've never been to Seaquen before. They need some help. Well, I'm your man, boys. What'd I be? Where you headed? Well, I'm sending them to the Squid first. You take them there for me? Oh, aye, I'll take them there. Sure.
Yeah, there, and then we need to go Lyceum. So
So the guard goes, "All right, we're done here. Mr. Poe, I'll have them. I'll make sure to notify them to have them come by and talk to you about potentially helping them out in a medical situation. But otherwise, gentlemen, welcome to Seaquen. I hope your stay is a pleasant one."
thank you.
Aye. All right, next. And he waves over the next group. Figovich basically says, "So you're going to the Squid, eh? Supreme Squid? It's a good spot. It's a good spot. I know the lady who works there. She'll get you good rooms. As far as I know, they've still got a thing. But if you got the right, but even if they're full up, if you got the right squeeze, you might be able to push out whoever, and get a good series of rooms, and push some people out if you have to. Good lords from Gate Pass like yourselves probably have plenty of jack, and that'll get you in there. You guys look like you could use a bath and a good meal. I'm your man to help you out. My name's Fig. You need anything, you ask the Fig."
Did he say lords from Gate Pass?
Oh, yeah.
At this stage, Wraith and Aaron are going to bust up laughing.
So to the group, and it doesn't matter if Fig hears. So do we need to secure rooms first? Are we planning on staying here, or are we going to
Well, at least
complete
you're
our
here for a
task?
day,
Okay.
because it's not like, we can go back home.
Well, not yet, but we will eventually.
We will eventually, but
The other thing is, since we don't know at this point the name of the contact that we were supposed to meet, we're going to have to try
Yeah.
to make a good impression. So is it worth the bath and the trying to look like we didn't just come off of 2 weeks of murdering people on the road in self-defense?
it's probably not a bad idea.
All right, well, let's go to the Squid then.
All right. He leads you into the city, and you see, largely it exhibits, all of what you might imagine is happening. Refugee city. There's a lot of people sort of milling around, and you have to go as you walk past the. Here, let me go back here. Hold on a second. I'm referring to a map you can't see. That's not as helpful as it feels like. All right. So as you guys walk back into the city, or not back, but I mean walk into the city, you get past the gates. You have to walk in between these things, and like any refugee tent city, there's a lot of activity. There are people, there are beggars. You're accosted on a couple occasions. Figovich has to like sort of run ahead and like, get back. These are lords from Gate Pass. Get away. There's urchins all over the place, and he chases them off and that kind of stuff. The people that you pass by seem to be in relatively good health. The guys, up in the red zone there, they seem to be doing very well. Relatively well. I mean, they're still living in a tent city, but they seem to have a certain order and discipline to them. The rest, not so much. It smells a little. There's the smells of unwashed bodies and cooking meat and open. Let's be honest, open sewerage that is taking place and that kind of stuff. But as you pass by there and cross the ground and head towards the city proper, it gets better. You do see it seems to be organized. You see cadres of workers going back and forth. A variety of people that are obviously refugees that are like chipping in. A lot of that. For example, that wood that you guys rode the cart in, that's already made it to some a mill which looks hastily constructed, and you can see there's a couple of dozen people sawing boards and chopping wood and making getting things ready. You can hear the sounds of It's sort of early in the evening, so you can hear the sounds of the fish boats are starting to come in, and the catch is being unloaded and that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of people working, and it's very busy. This map looks fairly open, but in all those open spaces that you see, there's people going to and fro. The one thing that you don't see a lot of people going is hanging out here. Is hanging out here in this area. Hold on a second. Over here.
Because I was thinking the smell of unwashed bodies and food cooking and all that, all you really need is a bard and you have Coachella.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wait,
it's
bard
Burning Man.
A bard and some intoxicants, and it's Burning Man.
But yeah, I mean, that's largely what you see. You guys move into the city, Figovich sort of leading you, and he's pointing out various places. That's a good spot for a drink, that kind of thing. But you finally come to this place right here. Big sign. It's close to the harbor, so you can smell the river water off the thing, and the big barges are coming in with their catch. So there's a smell of fishes there, and it permeates the region. You can't even read it, but it says Supreme Squid Lounge on a big sign, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not it's not the Ritz, but it's well made. There's there's people going in and out. They seem to be well fed, well dressed, and Fig is like, well, we're here. We don't have any horses, so we won't need to do that. I guess let's go on in, get you checked in, and make sure that if you have anything you need, that we'll get you hooked up. So he goes in, and the first thing you see a woman behind the bar, and she's like, Figovich, I told you not to come in here ever again. And he's like, no, wait a minute. I'm here with guests. I brought you guests. And she's like, we don't have any rooms. What are you bringing me guests for? And so he goes, wait, these are guests from out of town. These are lords from Gate Pass. They've come to stay here with you. And she eyes him warily. She's like, I'll bring him forward, I guess, then. And don't break anything. And he's like, I won't. So he brings you forward, and she comes up to you. And she's like, I'm Faye. What can I do for you? I'm the bartender on duty here today. Welcome to the Supreme Squid. What can I help you with?
Yeah, 6 rooms.
6 rooms, and a refugee would triple the population here. I could have 6 rooms for you if I need. I could give you 2 rooms. How about that?
About 3.
3 rooms. How long a stay?
How long do you want us to stay?
Well, at least a week, I think. If I have to eject some of my player, are you looking to stay permanently? Are you making your homes here?
We don't know yet.
Lords from Gate Pass, is it? All right then.
Yeah, let's go.
Tell you what, 3 rooms. I'll have to be kicking out somebody, so that you may take a minute. But 3 rooms. She kind of looks you guys up and down. 4 gold a night per room. Food extra.
We just sold our boat for like 2 nights rent, right?
It's hard. It's a difficult time all around. I'm sure that there's plenty of room in the tent cities for you if you want to head down there. She looks at you.
Is there any reason to do sense motive?
No, she's shipping you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But
so I'm going to look over at Fig.
Fig gives you kind of a shrug. He comes over. He says, Lord Wraith, yeah, I'll tell you right now, it's a bit pricey, but it's no pricier than what she's charging everyone around here. Ever since the refugees came in, prices in the city have gone skyrocketing. Some things have gone as much as double of the player's handbook, which is crazy.
Okay, Fig. 2 rules. If you call me Lord again, I'm going to stab you.
Sir Wraith?
Just Wraith works fine.
Master Wraith?
No.
Okay. Just Wraith is fine. How many inns are in this city?
Well, several, but they're going to be full as britches, and you won't get any better price.
Okay.
And I'm, now that I'm sort of up close to this guy and can like do it, I'm gonna do I wanna do a
To-
perception check.
To Fig?
Yeah,
Okay.
to determine if I think he's a rogue. And not
Okay.
just if I think he's a rogue, do I think he's connected?
Okay.
21.
It's hard to tell. He's pretty young. So from your eyes, if he was connected to any sort of thieves guild or organized crime or anything here in Seaquen, that connection would likely be tenuous. And frankly, up until about 2 weeks ago, this town was a relatively sleepy fishing village with and college town. It's only now that suddenly they're not kidding. Their population has tripled in 2 weeks, and everything they're doing is trying to handle that thing. Now he's from Seaquen, so he's probably connected from the sense of that people around town know him. It was obvious that the barmaid, that Faye, the barmaid, knew who he was and had interactions with him. She seemed I mean, she's like, get out of here, but she seemed relatively genial about it and didn't make a big production. So it's probably whatever transgression he may have pulled in here before wasn't sufficient enough, was easily superseded by the fact that he brought in a bunch of fresh paying customers. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe a rogue. He certainly has. Your guess is probably a rogue.
Right, but the bigger question is, and this is sort of just trying to, I don't think I have the connection to the Rogues Guild, but I don't think that'll really help here. What I'm trying to determine is if there is actually an organized crime element in this city, which even in a small fishing village, college town, there would generally be something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of whether or not it's worth effectively outing myself to see if I can get us something out of it.
I would say you can't tell if Fig is a part of it. Your guess is that he's probably cut a purse or two in his time, but on an organized scale, maybe not. He's pretty young. He's probably 19 or 20 years old, so he wouldn't have had the opportunity to do much.
I had the hook up at 13. Come on.
Gate pass is a tough setting, man. It's it's like it's like St. Louis.
East St. Louis?
Maybe East St. Louis. Yeah, your guess is
Possibly.
Give me an intelligence check. Just roll a d20 with your intelligence bonus.
Oh, for the love of Pete. Hang on.
You're using that Excel spreadsheet. It's a really pain in the butt to use. Isn't that right, Mike?
It works
14.
perfectly.
14. All right. So your guess, I mean, you can't tell about Fig without really talking to him. You can't tell just by looking to him. Although he carries a knife, he seems to know his way around. Your guess is he's probably cut a few purses in his time. The political situation, I mean, the information you've got from the guard, the information you've got from Katarina, basically you would guess there was probably a group of good old boys that served as Seaqen's answer to organized crime. Now, they probably weren't all that organized, and they probably weren't full-time criminals.
No.
But think of a bunch of bubbas around, chiseling guys, maybe a little light extortion, maybe a pimp or two. Nobody who's, no murders for hire or anything like that. But with a sudden influx of refugees and desperate people, your guess is that there might be some actual criminals in the tent cities, especially in the Sargavan tent cities, that would be preying on people, that would be trying to make money, any way they could. And frankly, that creates a situation where the local boys are probably fighting a rear guard action against the new guys for control of whatever crime is going on here. You're with all these people coming in, there's going to be more crime.
Yeah.
With more crime, there's probably more criminals who are willing to organize and say this. But your guess, considering what you know about politics and how things worked in Gate Pass, is that if you were going to look for organized crime, the tent cities would be where you look, not in the city.
Okay. Yeah, my issue is more with this kid and what he would be capable of doing for us in addition to the sightseeing stuff. So our face person is Titus, right? He's the charismatic
Mhm.
one.
Yep.
So what they're offering so far is 12 gold a day, and they want a 5-day commitment, which is 60.
Yep.
So I'm going to move over and suggest that Titus tell her
Let you negotiate with her.
tell her that we'll give her 40 upfront for the week, 3 rooms total, and we'll deal with food on our own.
What, you want her floor sweepings on a plate?
No, I mean, we can go eat wherever.
All right.
I'm just saying, offer her 40 upfront for the week for 3 rooms.
Okay.
And you're the diplomatic one.
I'm a diplomatic, just a different kind of diplomatic.
Yeah, I don't want you to intimidate the old way.
Yeah, mine doesn't have a. Yeah. My-
40 a week and we don't beat your ass right here in front of this bar.
If I wanted to do that, I'd just shoot her and we could get, but that's not good.
All right. So basically you say to her, so I'm an 18 diplomacy check. Basically you say to her, how about 40 a week and we go find food somewhere else? Kind of thing. Is that what you're proposing?
Well, and I give her a big gleaming smile and a twinkly eye.
In a day's spell. Okay. All right. So she looks at you and she's like, a Sharpie. Let me see something. Let me try something here. See how she reacts. Okay.
She's now in love with Titus.
Well, no,
It's going to give us the 3 rooms for a week for 20 gold
but she was going to require something extra from Titus.
from Titus.
Uh-oh.
We're okay with
Throw
that.
in my I'm with stupid t-shirt.
So she looks at you and she's like, you see a hint of a smile at the corner of her mouth, and she says, 40 and not eat it, and you're not going to eat here or drink my wine or take a haunch off my my roast beast. I'm losing money doing that. I'll tell you what.
Oh, we'll be here to drink.
Tell
And
you what.
occasionally we get hungry, but we'll fend for ourselves with meals.
Tell you what. 45 for the week. You eat 1 meal here, breakfast or dinner. You pay for that. We'll call it a deal. What do you say?
And that's your roast beef and flagons of your best.
Good eggs from good duck eggs from the swamp, rashers of bacon. There's plenty to have.
Oh, and only $5.
Rat bacon.
We've invented it where we take a brioche bun and we open it up and we put eggs and bacon and something we like to call secret sauce in there and put it together. We call it a Seaquen McMuffin.
Yes, the Seaquen McMuffin.
Well, she wants, so it's clear to you, Titus, that she wants your guys' food and drink business as well as the rent business. And so she's willing to come down 5 from what she talked about, a gold piece a day. But she wants your word that you'll eat at least 1 meal, that all of you will eat at least 1 meal in the squid, and do your drinking here as well.
I'm good with that. Pull the trigger.
Okay. All right.
Put her there.
Better be as good as you say.
Oh, it's the best in town. You're gonna like it. All right. So and she said now that 45 was up front, right?
No.
As I heard your friend Wraith say over there.
Actually, the 40 was up front. The renegotiation made no mention of it.
All right, 40 up front. We'll take the 5 at the end.
No, you misunderstand. The 40 total was up front. You renegotiated.
All right then. But I will require, what's 45 divided by 5? 9. I will require 9 for tonight.
Very well.
Okay.
All right, so she spits in her hand, shakes Titus's hand, and deal is struck. And she calls over a couple of kids and says, "Show these men up to their rooms. Give them 4, 5, and 6." Points to the stairs. She's like, "These
People
kids."
on 6 out.
Yeah, they'll grab. Well, she may have been fibbing about that, but these kids grab your bags and follow us, sir. You know, that kind of stuff, and take you up there. You get up there. The rooms are nice. They're clean. Couple of beds in each one. You know, they're not sumptuous by any stretch of the imagination, but on that side of the building, you have a good view of the bay. You know, so water. You know, water view, and you know, the other side is one of them is a corner, so you can look at some of the houses down on the peninsula, and from there you can see some of the elvish ships sort of sailing to and fro out in the bigger bay, out in the river, I mean. And you know, it's good. It's a quiet spot, and the urchins ask you, you know, will you be requiring baths? You know, do you want us to bring up water, extra candles, anything you need?
So what time of day is it?
Coming up on probably 7 in the evening.
So do we want to go and make our arrival at the Lyceum this evening?
No,
After
probably
we've
in the morning.
cleaned up? What do we want
Do
to?
we need anyone to help us identify that stuff we got from the hags?
Well,
We should be able to do it.
Yeah, we should be able to do it.
Yeah,
fine.
if you do the things as a ritual, and anything else you have too. I mean, if you guys want to split up the booty or anything like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, we need to identify stuff first. So
right.
yeah, I'd say
Okay.
we take baths tonight, get kind of freshened up, and then
And then go to the Lyceum in the morning.
because if
Okay.
it's like a university or some kind of mages school, then I'm not sure how many people will be there during the night. So it'd be
Okay,
best to be there in the morning.
I'm good with that. So yeah, we need water and.
Okay.
bath stuff and.
They'll fetch it for you. There actually is a big wooden tub that they had in a closet that they roll into the middle room. They were like, we've only got one tub, but we'll keep bringing fresh water so you guys don't have to, you know, sit in a tepid pool of
Mud.
someone else's filth. They bring extra candles, and they ask, do you want to eat and drink up here in your rooms, or do you want to go down into the common room that you pass through, you know, eat with the people, that kind of thing? What would you prefer?
That's up to everybody individually. And I can out of character can tell you this, once we get settled and evening hits, I'm going to the ghetto. So
That I'm going with. So
What are you gonna get some crack?
no,
feel
I
an
want to
elf-
go, I want to
feel-
go see if there's any news from Gate Pass. I want to go see if there's any of the people from our neighborhoods in the Sargavan area.
Okay.
See if our
Okay.
mom's down there.
Mommy.
yeah,
All right. So food upstairs or downstairs, whatever you guys want. It doesn't matter to me. So the water comes, you guys get cleaned up. They light the candles because it's getting dark. They bring up a couple of bottles of wine and some glasses for you to sort of start things off. And you know, and then after about an hour, everybody gets washed up and that kind of stuff. And they get you food and water, not food and water, but you know, food and drink. The food is quite good, heavy on seafood, or well, river food. So it's, you know, big catfish and turtle stew and things like that. So a lot, it's focused on that. Makes sense. You know, there's not, you know, with the increase in population, they're going to be extracting as much as they can from the river, as opposed to, you know, sheep and cow herds that you have not seen, except, you know, very, you know, so they've got to they're probably importing anything that's not river food from elsewhere. So, which they probably have always done, but I imagine that those demands have gone up. So
they just weren't ready for these numbers.
right. So it's good stuff, and the wine is good. It's not local or anything, but you know, it's tasty, well aged, and you know, convivial surroundings. So the Supreme Squid is a good spot, even if the lady, the proprietress, Faye, drives a hard bargain with Titus.
Yeah, she wanted Titus's hard bargain. That's the problem.
Ooh, that's right, she did. And you guys are going to be here for 5 days. So she's out. She's thinking, I'll make it happen.
She's putting in her best teeth.
I'll make this happen. I shall have him, she's saying to herself. I shall have him. All right. So Night has
Once-
fallen. It's probably around 9 o'clock by the time all this stuff gets done. You're gonna head into Aaron and Wraith sounds like are gonna go into the Sargavan tent city. What are the rest? Are the rest of you going to go with them? Are you guys going to go in mass, or are there other errands that the rest of you are going to run? Do you want to do, before you guys go there, whatever you guys are doing, do you want to do the identifies?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Titus sits cross-legged on the floor, drawing runes in the air, and the air crackles with magical forces as he does the identify spell. So what things do you still have that aren't
We have 4 vials of pinkish liquid. They're elixirs. We just don't know what kind.
okay? They are all 4 of them elixirs of love.
What?
Elixirs of love, my friend.
Wow.
What does that do?
So elixirs of love, this is a sweet tasting liquid, causes the character drinking it to become enraptured with the first creature he or she sees after consuming it as charmed person. The drinker must be a humanoid of medium or smaller size, and there's a will DC. The charm effect wears off in 1d3 hours. So essentially it's a 2-hour charm spell that you get somebody to drink. And you have to, and they become enraptured with the first creature they see.
Then the ring.
Ring is a ring of sustenance. Allows you to go without food and water indefinitely.
The
Wow.
buckler.
I'm sorry?
The buckler.
Plus
The-
2 mithril.
The mithril buckler. Plus
Mhm.
2. And the red robe.
Goodness.
The red robe doesn't have any specific magical powers or abilities other than you can't be damaged by normal wear and tear, and it always looks freshly laundered and ironed. Any dirt that gets on it in any situation is immediately thaumaturgied off by the power of the thing. So it always, when you wear that dress, that robe, you always look, exquisitely dressed.
It's not really
It's-
my color.
It's definitely something designed for a woman, though.
A sassy woman.
A sassy woman. A
That's all
woman
good.
who
And that is all of the magic items that we got.
a woman who will hit the people around her with a hammer full of sass.
Yeah. Does anyone else in the party use shields?
Poe uses a buckler now, so he would
Oh, okay.
definitely love to have that if
Then
nobody else.
yeah, let him have that.
All right. So are you taking that, Poe?
Yep, I'll take it.
So I can remove it from here. Mithril buckler plus 2. And a ring of sustenance. Is anybody tired of eating?
At this inn, yes.
Or it's something depending that we could sell once we get to a large enough city to try and buy stuff that we can actually make use of.
There you go.
So ring of sustenance, this ring continually provides the wearer with life-sustaining nourishment. It also refreshes the body and mind. Its wearer needs only sleep 2 hours a day to gain the benefit of 8 full hours.
I'll take it.
That'd
This
be good
allows
for
a
caster.
this allows a spellcaster that requires rest to prepare spells to do so only after 2 hours, but it does not allow a spellcaster to prepare spells more than once a day. The ring must be worn for a full week before it begins its work. If it is removed, it has to reattune itself to the wearer. So it doesn't start really working for a week. But yeah, you don't have to eat or drink, and you don't have to sleep all that much either.
So that Titus wants that.
Well, if I can refresh my magic sooner. Other than that,
Well,
You
yeah,
can
I mean,
do
that's,
more.
yeah,
It
you
just makes
can,
it to where, as a mage, you could take a night watch because you don't have
Yeah.
to spend 8 hours preparing.
oh, you lazy bastard, you just want to sleep.
Pretty much, yeah.
so-
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
so ring of sustenance, if you write that down, I can remove it from this list.
I just moved my office. Let me find some paper. Ring of sustenance. Okay,
There you go.
thank you.
Put it together with that dress, it's a ring of bustinance. All right.
But that dress is tempting for a face guy like me.
Oh yeah. You know, when you're
Always-
trying to exercise diplomacy skill, nothing really extends that a really fancy dress.
Mhm.
Exactly. And one that's
That's something.
smooth and looks friendly, freshly laundered.
All right, and then what about the elixirs of love? I'm assuming you're gonna all drink it. We're all you guys are gonna drink them at once and then look at each other.
And then, yeah, we're gonna just open our eyes and just see who, you know.
Sick. You guys are sick.
Circle jerks.
Well, so yeah, elixirs of love. It's a weird thing for a hag to have. But this was a hag who
To be
had
honest,
disguised self, so maybe she was a bit of a perv.
I was gonna say, disgusting as they look, if they really wanted someone to love them, then they probably needed to have those.
Hags need love too.
That was a song from the 80s, wasn't it?
I think so. I think it was by Scritti Politti. Well, that one hag, she was able to disguise herself. She could do disguise self spell. So maybe she's tipping down to Vidar every once in a while, throwing a flousy disguise self in it and slipping an elixir of love into the local swain's ale mug for a night of passionel.
Wow. Goodness.
Where do you think little hags come from?
I was gonna say, do you imagine the full body shiver that guy's gonna go through once that wears off?
What have I done? Any other things that need identificationes?
That was it.
That was it. All right. Were there other magic items on the thing that you guys are gonna split up, or
Well, no, we've talked, well, as far as I know, we've talked about the magic items that we had.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
it was basically, nobody was really all that interested. We were waiting to get somewhere large enough that we could sell them for book value so that then people might have the money to buy something for book value that they could actually use.
well, I mean, Seaquen. So with the influx of people, there's bound to be some magic users. There's certainly warriors, that kind of stuff. It's possible you can get a decent price for that stuff right here in Seaquen. Seaquen has a couple of magic shops, and certainly smithies and things like that. And these things are also popping up in the tent cities too. To serve the refugees
Oh, yeah. And
that are
I
coming in.
figured once we finish our business at the Lyceum, then we can go do some sell off and some shopping and what have you.
Gotcha. Okay. But in the meantime, you were saying that the night has fallen and you're going to head down into the Sargavan ghetto.
Yeah. And at this point, I don't know that we necessarily, unless you plan on a bunch of combat, I don't know that we necessarily need to go through the whole thing for the group, but it's going to be get in there and try to get any information I can about Gate Pass, specifically the Elven Ghetto, specifically if there's any gate passers here who I might be able to get some information regarding how things have gone there and what situation our mother might be in, that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me a couple of give me a diplomacy roll, a sense motive roll. And we'll see what you can find out. Give me those two rolls.
So I don't
My
have,
diplomacy roll.
yeah, I was
Or
going to
with
say,
spells?
he would have to do diplomacy because I don't have any.
Aaron Darwood.
Yeah, but what I can do is I can.
Oh, I don't have much diplomacy. I've got the other kind of diplomacy. I'm really good at that. If you guess,
Gunboat diplomacy.
Yeah.
yes.
So the other thing is I am connected with the Thieves Guild in Gate Pass.
Okay.
So I can speak cant and I can sort of maneuver my way around.
So I
those
failed my
types.
intimidate check, but still got a 16, but that's what happens first time he fails.
So let's see, you wanted sense motive 29,
Nice. Natural Twonzo.
and you wanted diplomacy, of which will
Mhm.
just be a D20.
Okay, and a 5. All right.
Well, that's my diplomacy.
And mine is
Oh.
five
That is
as well.
two.
Great. That's perfect. All right. So you get down there, and it is after dark. It is a place that reminds you a great deal of the Elvish Ghetto back at Gate Pass.
Yeah.
You don't as you pass through there, there's some sullen looks, but obviously the falcata on Arendar's hip and the bow in your hand, and across your back, tell them there's a lot of young bravos that are sort of like making eyes at you, but the best they've got is like daggers and stuff like that. There's not a lot of like proper weaponry down here. So you guys as you come down here, look like you're loaded for bear.
We are.
You get into it. There's a couple of like impromptu stalls that sell, fresh made ale and stolen liquor and stuff like that they're kind of doing. It's not great stuff, but you start asking around a little bit. And at first, people are sort of put off, but you finally get to one that is relatively empty, and the guy seems willing to talk, and he does have some information about Gate Pass. Now, he will tell you that he's not from Gate Pass, but he strikes you as the kind of guy that loves to hear the news and pass it along. It's that kind of thing. So these are the things that he knows. So back in Gate Pass, he says the war wizard Gabal, who Vondram knew from her time at the wizard school in Gate Pass,
Yeah.
came out of hiding. He'd gone into hiding, but he came back out when the city council let the Sargavan Inquisitors. They let the Inquisitors inside the walls. Gate Pass soldiers basically kept the Inquisition at bay, while Gabal and a lot of his students assaulted the Sargavan camps outside the gates. Supposedly, the Sargavans lost nearly 2,000 soldiers in a day because of Gabal's attacks. But somehow one of the Inquisitors managed to locate Gabal, dispelled his fire protection, and basically came in. They called in a dragon, a red dragon in this case, and they were able to basically incinerate him. So Gabal is dead.
Okay.
But he took a lot of Sargavans with him. The first Sargavan army, which was led by a guy named General Magdus, has stopped hostilities because of bad weather in the south, and is now roaming the plains, sort of pillaging as it goes. There's a lot of random companies that are sort of like pillaging and scavenging and knocking out farms and stuff like that. There's another fleet coming from Cheliax, supposedly sailing to support Magnus's forces, so that when the weather turns, he'll be re-energized and be able to take the fight, deeper into Sargavan territory. A second army of Sargavans, led by a guy named General Danava and aided by some others, has basically taken over at Gate Pass. There was still a lot of people who were supposedly trying to hold out, and several of them had been holed out behind the first gate in Gate Pass. And he was able to break that down, and they've taken that portion of the city and basically own it.
God.
The third army, a guy named led by a guy named General Revulus, is looking to march south and take up that way. So if we look at this is a regional map. This is too small. Here's my other map. Well, I don't know. We could do this. Hold on a second. This might work a little bit, but I have to find my other map. So you guys are here at Seaquen on a little peninsula. Gate Pass is down here. So there's been a lot of activity. So the second army, so Gabal butched up a lot of Sargavans over here. A third army is sort of going down here. Now they're specifically, sounds like, heading into the Mwangi jungles to go look at taking out maybe one of those capital cities. There's two big Mwangi capitals in that direction of two, large Mwangi estates, I guess they're states. They probably are headed for the south one. That's the southernmost one. That's the one that's caused them the most problems. But this guy thinks that if they do that, if the Sargavans do that, what they're going to end up having is united Mwangis. They're going to unite the Mwangi tribes against them, which they're already sort of doing anyway, and they'll put aside their differences to throttle back. And this guy goes on for a while. He's like, basically, if they'd have just stayed away from the jungles and left the Mwangi alone, the Mwangi would have stayed in there, which you guys know is probably false. there's a lot of Mwangi trade, and they're allied pretty close with the elves, who have been, the elvish cavalry in the river valleys have been fighting Sargavan raiders for a long time. So this guy's probably talking out of his ass there, but you know how people do. Meanwhile, there's a fourth Sargavan army, which is coming in from the north of the fire forest. Now, we're not sure if they're headed for Seaquen or if they're looking to just seal off the fire forest to keep anybody from escaping through it, or by the river. But they're coming in like up in the northernly area. They're and they're going to be supported as well by Chilaxian naval vessels. So they're putting a lot of support. You get the impression that the initial strikes did not go as well as hoped, and certainly losing 2,000 soldiers at Gate Pass didn't help at all. But they've basically said to Cheliax, we've got a problem, and Cheliax is sending reinforcements. And when when the devil worshippers get off the the old phrase, when the big dog gets off the porch, somebody's going to get bit. Cheliax is a big dog.
Okay.
So they're going that way. We have seen a fair amount of Mwangi here he's heard that there's been a fair amount of Mwangi ambassadors coming here. They think that they were invited by the blockade elves to come and talk to these guys. It's Seaquen, because Seaquen is pretty well strategically placed. If you look at the map, I mean, it basically, Seaquen done right can command this river for 100 miles in each direction. If allowed to do it. So there's been some talk that the Mwangi are offering to provide troops and supplies to both the elvish sailors and to the people of Seaquen. So I know that the council, he'll tell you, the council, I know, has been negotiating with the Mwangi to try and get more supplies in here. And frankly, I think a lot of they're already, the Mwangi, a lot of Mwangi supplies are already coming into Seaquen, so they may enhance that to make things easier on us, the refugees, but also to shore up Seaquen as a beachhead against anything that comes down the river that's Sargavan, because they're definitely seeing this as a place. It can't have escaped the Sargavans that Seaquen is becoming a haven for refugees. So we're gonna have to get our shit together pretty quick, otherwise we're gonna be in the same position that Gate Pass was. He has heard also that there is some guerrilla warfare going on at Gate Pass, that it's certainly that the city has not been pacified, and that those people who did not get out in time have formed informal militias to fight the Sargavans, and that they have been, in some cases successful. I mean, obviously there's been reprisals, mass hangings, burning of places, things like that, that the Sargavans are doing. But it sounds like the militia is holding their own. And he's like, if I know anything about militias, the more you punish them, the harder they get. I don't expect there'll be a problem. Gate Pass always had a reputation for being a tough joint, and I don't think the Sargavans knew what they were getting into when they took the place.
So that's the resistance.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it sounds like
nothing specific about Gate Pass people in this area. Gate Pass refugees.
He's like, there's a few. He goes, a lot of people didn't get out, and he goes, I'll be honest with you, there were a few that were here that I knew that used to drink here quite a bit, and that were Gate Pass, or said they were from Gate Pass, and then they disappeared a couple weeks back, or about a week ago, I should say. They got here early. They were here pretty quickly after we got word that Gate Pass had been taken. They got it pretty early, but word on the street was that they managed to acquire some weapons and armor, and joined up with some people going back to Gate Pass, and to rejoin the resistance there. He goes, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. What I do know is I haven't seen him around lately.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't feel like too many people got out of Gate Pass when the getting was good. The Sargavans, as it turns out, everybody says that the Sargavans had Gate Pass pretty much locked up. That's why the elves have done the blockade. They're trying to keep Sargavans from doing the same thing here. We're pretty sure that at least a few Inquisitors and Sargavan agents are already here. There was such in the first days after Gate Pass fell and the war broke out, there were so many refugees that got here. I mean, there was just no way to keep track of them all. Now I know that they're doing a pretty good job of taking people's names and stuff when they come into town, but there was just no way. And then the elves hadn't got here. The elves only got here about 10 days ago. So it was several days after the war broke out that the elven barricades even got here. So it was just anybody who wanted to come in was welcome. The councils, they're pretty good. They're pretty good people generally, and they're trying to do the right thing. So they weren't even thinking about infiltrators. So I guarantee you there's probably some in the city. He seems pretty sure.
Besides spreading some minor misinformation, which is probably just what he was given because he doesn't know any better. Does he seem like a good dude?
Yeah, seems like a good dude. He's sort of ruddy-faced human. It's obvious that he's making his own ale here. You can see in the back. So it's basically just a stall. There may be 4 spots for 4 people in front of it. A lot of it is takeaway. While you're talking to him, there's people come up and they're bringing cartons of stuff that he fills up with ale and sends back as see you later, that kind of stuff. Knows a lot of the people by name that come up. So yeah, he seems like a good dude. But you can definitely see behind him in the back of the stall are his ale vats, and he's obviously making it right there.
Right, but
And
he also seems to know the people in this area.
yeah, he does.
He's got a lot of contacts. All right.
Seems to, yeah.
I'm gonna
He
slip
seems just pretty friendly in general.
I'm gonna slip him 20 gold from
Whoa, dude.
not from party stuff, just from my stuff.
Okay.
And tell him to make sure that the children are taken care of.
Oh, I can't believe you give me this. What are you doing? I can't take this from you, sir.
Make sure the children are taken care of. And then I need to go.
Oh.
I'm gonna go back to the inn because we need to go to the Lyceum in the morning.
He says, wait, before you go. He fishes around, he pulls out a what looks to be a rarity, a big glass bottle with a cap on it, a big cork on it. He's like, take this with you. And he fills it up with ale, and tights the cork. He says, least I can do. I'll make sure this gold goes to good work. You're a good man, sir. Good man. Come back anytime. Come back and see me.
Well, I'm not gonna say no to beer.
Yeah. No, he gives you the thing. Take this with you. It's the least
Yeah.
I can do.
I'll grab that and get back to the
Okay.
inn so we can, as we got like a little under 30 minutes, we might be able to hit the Lyceum still tonight.
Okay. All right. So you go back and tell them all these things.
No, not necessarily.
All right.
I mean, basically, what we learned is there's a lot of army movement. I will tell Vondi that
Okay.
that Gabal, from what I have heard, has been killed, but that his
According to that guy, it was a good fight. He took out. The word is that he took out him and his guys, his cadre of mages took out that came to fight, took out like 2,000 soldiers.
right, and I'll
but-
tell Vondi all of that
Okay.
because I know that he studied at the Mage Academy at some point.
Yep. Yeah.
He might have had friends in there. I don't know, and I don't have any names anyway. But so the idea is Gabal was eventually bested and he is dead,
Mhm.
but that he took a whole lot of bad guys with him on the way out.
Yep.
So,
They eventually killed him with dragon fire. He took off his fire protections and got him
Yeah.
with the dragon.
so I don't know if that will make Bondi feel better or if he'll just be pissed. I'll give him the information that I have. The rest of it was like troop movements and stuff, which I'll definitely pass along to people at the Lyceum in case it contradicts the information we give them. But
Okay.
I'm guessing if that bartender has it, so do they already.
It sounds like that's the scuttlebutt. You know how these things work. I mean, when you're running from something, you want any information that's come by, and who best to pick up that information than somebody with a bar kiosk.
Yeah, somebody handing out beer. No, I get it.
Yes.
But my guess is any of the parts of it that are actually true, the Lyceum probably already knows about because they have mages and scry and all of the other
Mhm.
ways to get information that's a little more accurate than drunk folk.
Yep.
So. But yeah, so after that, head back so we can go to the Lyceum.
All right, you head back, you get a decent night's sleep. Turns out Fig is sleeping. They've got a little sort of like back room on the first floor. And since Fig has told them that, he's operating as your servant. By the way, he says his services are 4 silver a day.
Okay.
But there's no particular list of tasks that he can do or will not do, for that matter. So, but one good thing about these kind of servants, especially this one, is he will not shit behind the couch.
I was about to say the
Yeah.
same thing. At least he won't shit behind the couch. So much better than that other thing. And if he does shit behind the couch, it won't be our couch, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, Matt is he's definitely of a mind that he wants to go and collect that guy and bring him back to Dresden.
Okay.
Add to the list of things paladins should not do.
Philindar pushed for and really made sure we got the whale, but that was it. There's nothing else.
I don't know.
No behind the couch shitter.
No.
All right. So in the morning,
Okay.
head out.
All right, so you go. So Vigovich will show you how to. Vigovich will show you how to get over there. You kind of have to go around. There's no bridge over the harbor, and when you get up, even later in the morning, like 9 or 10 o'clock, the harbor is fairly busy. There's a lot of people working there. There's a lot of people, fish cutters and stuff like that. So you kind of have to make a long loop. But as you approach the Lyceum, you can see that there's a lot of activity there. One of the things you notice first off is there is a big there's a big wall around it, about an 8-foot wall, and you can see that there are guards around it, although they seem relatively, they're not like at full attention, right? It's not like that they're expecting an attack at any moment. They're mostly just sort of like wandering around, taking things. And there's a gate portcullis, a fairly big gate portcullis, and you can see that there are people going in and out of there. It looks like supplies are being brought in. On one occasion, a man with wearing what looked to be wizard's robes, along with a couple of assistants, come out on horses and take off through into the city. You can see a lot of that. But there are probably a half dozen guards over by that one door. It's the only door that you really see. And Vigovich is like, that's the way in. But I got to be honest with you. I don't think that you're going to be able to get in there without an appointment. Do you know who you're supposed to talk to in there? Or because it's, they're on war footing. The Lyceum and the council are talking every day, and about what may occur, and news of the world, and there's all bit of business going in and out of there.
Yeah.
Who has the satchel?
You guys gave it to Kazakh, right? The Bone Devil?
No, he gave him copies.
Actually, we never met with him and gave him anything.
You never gave him the copies, I don't think.
That's true. We never
Yeah.
saw him again. So we have the satchel. We have copies of the information, but we also have the original information.
Did you guys ever get a chance to make the copies? Did Titus do that?
Actually,
Yeah,
no,
we did that.
were going to.
We did it. Okay.
Yeah, he did copy or some
Prescribe.
name spells. Yeah, that copied the whole thing.
Okay. I thought so. I wasn't sure though.
So we've got the copies, but we've also got the originals in the courier bag. At least I
Okay.
thought we still had the courier bag, which may prove important since we don't know who we're supposed to be talking to.
You do have the original case, the courier
So
case
who
from
has
River
that?
Eye.
Yeah, River Eye Fish Face. Who has that satchel?
I do. Sure. Let's go with that.
That's convenient.
Maybe someone.
Oh
with a
no, had it, but he fell into
maybe-
that swamp that one time. Remember?
Maybe somebody with a diplomacy skill.
I guess that'd be me
I
then.
guess that would be.
Titus has got the satchel, or he
Yeah,
does
Titus.
now. So since we don't know who we were supposed to meet,
Basically, I just tell them that
when we get there, we need to ask for the officer in charge or whoever is in charge of the watch. Then
Okay.
Titus needs to tell them that we were working with, and what's the chick's name that got squashed by
Torrent.
the fire beetle? Torrent.
Torrent.
Torrent,
We were
yeah. If
working
we had a
with
signet
Torrent.
ring. Torrent had a signet ring too that might help us here. I would assume that
Yeah.
we'd take that with
We
us.
were working with
Sure.
Torrent. She was unfortunately killed on the way over, but
Not by us.
we have information that needs to get to the leadership of the Lyceum. That's what you need to tell them, and you need to sell it really well. Because from me, they'll just be like backing away in terror because they think I'm going to shoot them because I have a charisma of 10.
Yeah, this was the medallion that she had.
Right.
It was made of copper and had this sigil on it. You still don't know what the hell this sigil is, but
Yeah.
it was with
We-
the note that told you to seek out the Fae at Lake Sela.
Yeah, we want to hand deliver this to whoever's in charge here, and then after that, we're technically done. Hoping there's another hook in there somewhere, but
Well, and the
Oh,
other
no.
thing is there was information as to why teleport wasn't working within Gate Pass. So there's some
Mhm.
magical crap in there that we want
Right.
too.
Yeah, Poe would have spent some time looking at that stuff, Les, at some point,
Yeah.
especially since we've got a copy of it.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot of some of that are the arcane material, but definitely it's pretty rarefied. It's pretty high level arcane stuff. You look at it, and I mean, you can make some out of it, but it's a lot of high level stuff, and you're not sure what it means, but it looks important. The military stuff is a lot of it is logistical. It talks a great deal about supplies, about troop movements, about dates. Who's going to be what units are going to be where on what date. How to in some cases movements of money, contacts back in Cheliax who are going to going to support them. Sargavans, lists of Sargavan infiltrators, things like that. There's a lot of different stuff. But all of it, as you can see, it looks pretty valuable, frankly, from a military standpoint. All right, so you guys see the gates of the thing. You see the guards. You see people, various wagons, and some people on horses going in and out. Beyond the gates, you can see it actually looks really nice. Beyond it, you can see what looked to be about 6 or 7 what look to be class buildings or dormitories, and they're sort of elevated a little bit on a hill. It looks like, as you go in, the wall is sort of lower than the rest of it. Now, from those of you who are martial characters would instantly recognize this is sort of like the Mott and Bailey standards. Your guess is that the Lyceum, before it became a mage school, was once a military keep, because this is exactly how you would design it. Most of the buildings are built out of gray stone, a lot of them covered with moss, and you can see the walkways are covered also with arches and things like that. And there are fields in between the buildings that have, not fields, but I mean areas in between the buildings that have trees. Those trees also have sort of moss hanging from them, that kind of stuff. The biggest building that you see is the central tower. It's 8 stories. It looks about 60 feet in diameter. It looks as a weathered stone, and there are a lot of thick windows scattered about. Figovich would tell you that's the Orad Tower, and it's often used for major events, council meetings. That's where the professor's offices are, or that he heard. He goes, "I've never been in there," but that's what it sounds like. A lot of what he can tell you is that a lot of the people who work at the professors who work at the Lyceum, often they have houses that are along this North Shore area right over here. In this area, there's a lot of really nice houses that face the river over there, and that's a lot of where they live. So most of them don't live inside the walls, but several do, and all the students do. And then a lot of the offices, the professors' offices, are in that Orad building, is what Figovich would tell you.
Well, thank you for that future larceny information.
There you go.
But for now, we have a mission.
He tips his hat.
Let's go, Titus.
All right. So Wraith and Titus approach the gate. What are the rest of you going to do? You're going to hang back? You're going to come with them? You're going to try and intimidate people? A little light larceny? What are you guys doing?
I'm assuming we're all going up there.
You guys going to all go up with them?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We've got shiny face, lawful good boy. He needs to stand there and smile and make everyone trust us.
All All right. As you guys approach, a cart goes by, leaving. It's got looks like what it has is let's be honest, night soil. Cart goes by, leaving the campus, and then the guards are like, "Greetings. Can I help you?" All right, Titus. What do you say, buddy?
I start singing the Lyceum fight song.
We're gonna fight.
Lyceum.
Give me an L.
Good evening, kind
I can
sir.
just see Titus just rolls up and he's like, "Ready? Okay." Got his pom poms out. All right. Good morning, good sir. He opens and you're just like, "Oh no, this is never gonna work." All right. What do you say to the guy? Guy's like, "Can I help you? You have what's your business?"
I forgot. What am I supposed to?
We need to speak to the captain of the current watch, please.
Oh, yes. I'd like to speak to the captain of the current watch, please.
And what is this pertaining to?
Well, that's some private business between us. I'd love to tell you, but I just can't.
Well, he's a very busy man. If I'm to fetch him for you, I'd need to know at least who you are, and if there is any business, or if you, because I have his schedule and he has no appointments.
Why, my name is Titus.
Andronicus?
Yes.
Okay,
The one and only.
now apparently I'm Cyrano de Bergerac. Tell him that we have important information smuggled out of Gate Pass that needs to get to the leadership of the Lyceum.
Ignore my big nose friend. We have important information that we have smuggled at great risk out of Gate Pass, and we must pass along to the commander of the Night Watch.
I think that would warrant a sense motive check. Indeed. Is that what's in that case there?
Why, that's for me and the commander to discuss.
Well, I suppose having such a long travel from Gate Pass under difficult circumstances has made you a bit tetchy. Let me see if he's available. Stay here, please. What your name again was? Titus? Titus Conundrum?
Yes.
And these are your associates?
Yes, these are my associates also from Gate Pass.
Yeah, and drop the name Torrent.
Oh, and our friend Torrent sends regards.
Doesn't send regards. She's
Okay,
dead.
Hey, hey.
I said drop the name, not make some shit up.
Well, she did send her regards before she was dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she
Send
got
her regards, not-
squashed by a fire beetle.
That is when regards are usually sent prior to death. All right, so he's like, all right, let me see if he's available.
Otherwise, it's a haunting.
He says, otherwise it's like, ooh, regards to you. All right, so he's like, all right, wait here. I'll go see if he's available. So he takes off. He's gone a couple of minutes. When he comes back with a man dressed in, well, military uniform would be too formal, but it's certainly similar to the guardsman. He does have some insignia on his shoulder. Give me a quick perception check.
Who? Me?
Everybody.
Oh.
Wow. There's some good perception in.
We're very perceptive today. Jesus.
Wow.
Wow.
These may be new records of perception. You guys are perceiving everything. There's 17 cracks on the stone next to the building.
Arendar and Poe are like, why is that guy wearing a thong?
Well, so what you notice, and you all notice except for Titus, who's sort of formulating what he's going to say next and try not to, step in a bucket of sass again, is you notice that one of the insignia that he has on his lapel is the same insignia that was on that copper medallion.
Hmm.
That same sigil. So he comes over.
Somebody point that out to Titus so he can present it.
Yeah, we'll point that out to Titus.
Okay. So you can see he's walking with the guardsman you took, and you see the guardsman's talking to him as he comes over. He points at those guys, and you see this guy kind of look over. He's an older guy, salt and pepper hair and beard. He's got a long sword on his hip. You know, you could tell that he's wearing some sort of armor, potentially a breastplate, but it's covered with clothing and not a robe, but you know, clothing. He's got a cloak, that kind of stuff. But he looks like he knows his way around a sword. And he comes over, and you hear the guardsman that you talked to say, these are the gentlemen. This is Titus Conundrum, and these are his associates. They claim to be from Gate Pass, and they claim to have need to talk with you over some materials that they have not described. He looks at you. The other guy goes, my name is Captain Rambausen. I'm head of security here at the Lyceum. I don't know any of you, so if you could, I'm a very busy man, and I appreciate that you're likely busy as well. So if we can get down to it, please let me know why it is you've summoned me.
Well, we have very, very, very important documents from Gate Pass that pertain to the war and secrets, and we have come at great expense and harm to ourselves to share these secrets.
And harm to others.
Well, yeah, there's that, obviously.
And a lot of harm to others. Secrets, you say, from Gate Pass? Is that
Yeah.
is this true? You are from Gate Pass? When did you leave?
We left. I don't know how many damn.
Many game sessions ago we left.
Yeah.
It seems like forever in certain cases, especially the time we spent with the Fae in the woods of the Fire Forest, which seemed interminable. But it's only been we left the night of the attack, which would have been just about 2 weeks ago.
Has it only been 2 weeks?
Only about 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's
Lots
been a
happened.
fortnight.
It's been a busy 2 weeks. She's like, first night in. Indeed. Well, these documents, I would be interested to see them. Can you give me some sort of indication that what you're saying is true? Perhaps a sample of these documents that may take a moment to inspect and verify its veracity?
We pinky swear.
Show him the medallion.
I show him the medallion and
And we offered a pinky swear.
tell
Pinky
him
swear that trumps any sort of contract that I've ever done. If these men, and he steps aside, he says to the guardsman, he says, "These men are willing to pinky swear. Admit them immediately." So he looks at the medallion, and he reaches out his hand. He's like, "May I see that?" Titus,
yes,
may I see it?
yes.
He takes it and he takes it from your hand. He looks at it, looks on the reverse. May I ask where you acquired this? He seems. Give me a quick sense motive.
Everybody or just Titus?
Just Titus, I think. Well, maybe everybody. Sure. I mean, you're all standing right there. You can see it. You're all part of this.
I am all over this. Watch this. Ready?
This is gonna be great. That's actually not bad.
Actually,
that's not
there's
you.
some. Oh, Titus natty 20 though.
Nat
Yes.
20 Tituses. Very nice. All right. So basically, you whipped out that medallion, and he's like, "Boy, that's one of ours." And you could tell he's trying to decide how you guys acquired this. And your guess is that he
Did we get that
suspects
from Torrent?
that you killed the bearer, because he actually says, "How did you acquire this?"
Was that
Was that
Torrance?
Torrance?
Yeah, it was Torrent. She gave it to you along with the note that said to go to the note you found on her body that said
Just
to go
be
to
honest,
Seaquen.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell him where it came from and what the fate of Torrance was, and say, please let us in. We we have a
Thank
lot
you
of
very much.
The moment you start talking about Torrent, and I'll tell you what, he's going to do a sense motive on you to make sure you're not lying. Okay. When you after you tell the story he softens and he's like, ah, that is a sad tale. I knew Torrent not well, but I knew of her. She was a well, one couldn't possibly say that she was a good warrior, for she never engaged in combat herself.
No,
But-
she didn't. She was a great bystander. She was
an excellent bystander, an observer of events around her
Which was quite frustrating.
that she never participated in. It was a strange thing about her. Well, yes, then I believe I do wish to see the contents of this case. Gentlemen, if you will follow me, let us go inside and to my offices, and we'll discuss this. Please follow me. And before he turns around, he says to the guardsman, "You stay here. You two," he says to two other guardsmen that are just sort of hanging around. "Come with us." And they sort of like, you guys, he starts walking off into the grounds of the Lyceum, and you guys follow him. And then the other two guys come in behind you, sort of escorting you across the manicured lawns of the Lyceum towards his office.
And now we break out the ambush.
And now the ambush begins. Yes. So I'm thinking, we're sort of on the verge of something bigger. We've got 3 minutes left. So why don't we stop here, and then we'll start next time with you guys talking with Captain Rambausen about the contents of the case.
Rambowski, yeah.
Rambausen.
No, Rambowski.
Lebowski? Lebowski, is that you? You get to his office and you realize that rug really holds things together. Ties the whole room. All right, so does that sound good to you guys?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll
Awesome.
work.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We finally got to the Lyceum. It's only taken us 27 sessions. A war with the Fae, and a lot of walking. But you guys finally made it.
Next module.
Next module, yeah. Now we're only on. So just to give you guys the thing, this book, this whole campaign, we are in, I would say, the middle of what they call Adventure 3. There are a total of 12 adventures, 12 books essentially, and we're in the middle of book 3. So lots to go.
Just so you know, if any
Yep.
of the future books contain Fae,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Just
gonna
gonna
go.
murder.
I'm gonna go murder Hobo.
When I said that the bartender's name was Faye, I was worried that you're going to murder her outright.
I thought about it. I gotta be honest.
If she was a redhead, I figured it was go time.
Oh,
it was a
it was gone.
throwdown.
Oh yeah, that's so down.
Aaron and I were still walking behind Wraith. No, not yet. Nope.
Not yet. No. Do not murder. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. This was awesome,
you.
and we will revisit the case, the vaunted case from Gate Pass, the second week of August,
All right.
October. That's what I
Awesome.
meant.
That's what we meant.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank
Have
you,
a good
dudes.
one. Bye, everybody.
Hey, Les, real
Good
quick,
night.
did you get the A session that we missed last time?
Yes, I have it. I haven't loaded it yet.